Everybody, Jab and Nobody Else's Auto, 7 o'clock Sunday evening, time for some Sunday night live chat. We got a little helper back already in the way tonight. Let's see. Leo is on right out of the gate. Glad Leo's back. Ozark Fox is here. Let's see if we're connecting on Facebook. It appears as though we are. As always, we are live on two formats, Facebook and YouTube, for tonight's chat. So, as you see me looking back and forth, I will be checking comments on both formats since we do have viewers on both of them as we work through tonight's chat. Alan from Arizona, Pete's on with us. Kevin L's here. John made it tonight. David W. is back with us tonight. Several guys are on right out of the gate tonight. Always appreciate that. Some of you guys jump on way early as I'm setting up. I can even start to see a few of the comments pop up. So always great to know some of you guys are ready to go for the night's chat. Eloy's here. Gary's on. Mike from Texas. Reno's here. Brian Dispatch. Dad's on with us. And, of course, one pesky gray kitty. Yes, you gray kitty. You. Pest. Bill Wagman's here, says hit the like button. Appreciate that. Ozark's from Fort Smith, Arkansas. Glad you're on tonight. Kenny's on. Dennis Chapman made it. Still amazes me every week you guys come back, join the chat, make it what it is. Super appreciate that. Bud's here with us as well. And looks like we've got a few people starting to get on Facebook also. So lots and lots and lots of crazy things going on. So we got a lot of stuff to talk about tonight. Glad you guys are all here. John found 13 cans of Quaker State metal cans. Anything metal is always good. Johnny Z's here with us. Ryan and Amy are on. And like I said, all kinds of things to talk about this evening. We'll start off with kind of some sad news, at least, for me, and I always hate to hear this. Obviously, being a Warbird buff, I'm sure a lot of you heard about the crash in Texas yesterday of the B-17 bomber. Eric's on. Frank from Rochester's with us. The P-63 that somehow or another clipped the B-17, and they both went down. Obviously, as a lot of you guys know, I'm a huge airplane fan. There's the only thing I love probably as much as cars and trucks as airplanes. And, to see something like that is terrible. I seen the clip, a couple hours after it happened, and obviously at the altitude that they were at, there was no chance for anybody to get out of either one of those planes at that low of an altitude when that accident happened. So always hate to see things like that. I don't know much about the P-63. The B-17s I am fairly familiar with. I've actually ridden in a B-17 a couple of times at EAA when we've gone to Oshkosh. Jeff from Ottawa was on with us. But we've actually ridden in aluminum overcast twice up at Oshkosh at the Airfest. We've been 2 years, and I think in 15 and 16, and we all took rides on the B-17 while we were up there. So that aircraft I'm a little bit familiar with, been, in and around, and, all the way when they were going through the air, climbed under the pilots up into the nose. And so the B-17 I am fairly familiar with. So Nate's on a parts run, but he's here with us anyway. Jason's here. Tweedly D made it. And we got Michelle Holland on Facebook. I think we had Reno on YouTube with us. So Jason's ready to go. So let's get that kicked off right out of the gate. So obviously James from Virginia is on with us. The B-17, like I said, that aircraft I am somewhat familiar with. But anytime we see a tragedy like that, the crews that were lost, the aircraft that were lost, it's always a terrible thing and always sad to see that. So that's like I said, it's definitely a sad note, but it's things like that happen, unfortunately. But obviously lost some great crews and some great aircraft yesterday, and it's always sad to see that. So Jim's here with us. What else has been going on? I had a crazy week, but a couple things before we get into my week that I wanted to touch base on. Leo put a B-17 motor in a hot rod. B-17s were radials though. The Allisons that they use like in P-40s, they did use some of those in dragsters and stuff, but the 17s were radials. So that would be very tricky to do. I'm sure it could probably be done, but it would be pretty tricky. Just we'll keep this deal rolling just like that. Mecum Vegas was this weekend. I talked to my buddy Jim Wicks a little bit Thursday night after the first day. And, he said that Thursday, of course, Thursday is a lot of the cheaper cars. But, from what I'm seeing after looking at some of the results, I still think we are seeing the market correct. I'm not going to say we're seeing the market drop, but we're seeing the market correct to what is reality, which the last couple of years, a lot of the stuff we were seeing wasn't even reality. So that's kind of my gut feeling. I said, well, I'll know a little more here soon. Mecum's next event is Kansas City, which is the one that we always go to. We usually try to catch a couple Mecums a year, but Kansas City is one that we always do try to make. So we'll see how things go in Kansas City. But like I said, from what I saw in Vegas, things are realistic. I mean, there's always going to be cars that sell cheap. There's always going to be cars that sell for too much. But for the last couple of years, it seemed like everything, one after the other, was bringing too much. So anyway, let's see what else we got coming on comments. Pete said, love the Trans Am that went across the block of the red interior. Randy's on with us. Randy, I will try to get with you this week. As you'll know here shortly, my week went bonkers. So we'll try to get to work on that project this week, hopefully. So anyway, that's what I'm seeing, as far as where the market is headed off of the bubble that we've been on for the last few years. That was, like I said, almost a little bit out of whack. And that also shifted to the late model market as well. But there again, supply chains are filling back up, and dealerships are starting to get some vehicles back on the lots. So I think we're going to see a correction all the way across the board in the vehicle world. But from what I'm seeing in the collector car world, I think that's probably where things are headed. So that's right, Ozark Foxes, have a drink for the B-17 and their crew. That's true. So. But anyway, like I said, Mecum results are up. You can always go check out what happened there this weekend. I have not talked to Jim today after the sale to see how things went overall. But that's kind of what I saw by the time I spent looking at the results last night after Mecum Vegas. And like I said, keep an eye on that docket for Kansas City since we are planning on going. Hope to maybe see some of you guys there. If you're going to make it up there, be sure to look me up. It's always a good time, tons of cool cars, and always a lot of fun to hang out and meet new people. So definitely keep that in mind. Big Job made it tonight. Jason says, like and share. Appreciate that. Speaking of like and share, let's get a little bit of housekeeping out of the way. As always, double check your autocorrect. Make sure that what you send me is legible and readable and makes sense, that your autocorrect didn't change something before you hit send. If I cannot understand your comment, I will skip it. If you are on the Nobody Show Facebook page, I cannot see those comments. This is a shared video from the Nobody Else's Auto page on Facebook. You'll need to be on the Nobody Else's Auto page or the Nobody Show YouTube channel if you want to comment, participate in the auctions, participate in trivia, any of that stuff. Or deal with a gray cat. Yeah, you're the gray cat. I can't see the comments because you're in the way. You don't care, do you? No, you don't care. You're in the way. Trolls, as always, trolls. I ignore them. They want my attention. They're trying to screw up the chat. I ignore them. You guys take care of them, report them, block them. I appreciate that. I appreciate the support on the trolls. Let's see what else we got going on here in comments. Pete, is KC better than Tulsa? That's kind of I think they're comparable. I like Kansas City more because I've been going to Kansas City for 10 years. First Mecum we ever went to, and I've been going there literally since 2013, I think. Even back when they used to have 2 Kansas City sales a year. We used to go twice a year to Kansas City, but the nice thing about Kansas City is I don't know if it's bigger than Tulsa. It seems like it's bigger than Tulsa. And like I said, we've just been going. A lot of our group is familiar with going. We've got a place that we've stayed for years. We know where the restaurants are at around the place we stay, things like that. So for us, Kansas City is kind of we're more comfortable with it because we've been going so long. And like I said, the hotel we stay in, we have good rates there. We have breakfast at the hotel. We know what restaurants are around the hotel if we decide not to eat at the hotel restaurant. We just kind of got that comfortable. And there's always a lot of good cars there. And there's, like I said, it's the end of the year. It's the last sale of the year. So sometimes things show up there that you wouldn't expect. So it's pretty cool. So personally, I've always been a bigger fan of KC Meekum than any of them, just because that's what I'm most familiar with. Indy's a great show. We've been to Indy a couple times, but for me, I just personally like KC Meekum just because that's what I'm most familiar with. But they all have their good points and bad points for sure. Let's see what else we got for comments popping up here. Steve Hazebush is on with us. Yep, Gray Kitty is back hanging out. Eric, does Auburn Court Duesenberg let public take a tour, look at their cars? Just depends. Typically, yes, but it depends on what's going on because they are a fully functioning shop. And we'll get into some more of that here shortly. But, yes, they will let you in and look around sometimes. But it is a fully functioning shop. Those guys have to be working on cars. If they're not working on cars, they can't bill customers for hours. So it's and they get busy. There's a lot of things going on in that place that is pretty amazing. That's right, Jason. Stay off the keyboard, dum-dum. His primer is Great Kitty put on any weight. She's starting to. She's filling back out a little bit. Tulsa has a Black Bear Diner. Have not been to there. Mr. Burgles is here. Let's see if we're all caught up on comments. I think so. Looks like we're caught up for the time being there. We'll give you another one of these for sure as we keep working through what's going on. Couple more things I wanted to mention. I did upgrade phones this week. I got an iPhone 14 Pro. I don't know if that's going to help me any or not. I mean, it can't hurt me. I need all the help I can get making videos. So I did go to an iPhone 14 Pro. My new mic is hopefully supposed to be here. I think it's here. I got a notification. I've been gone that it was here. So hopefully I will get that tomorrow. So my mic, since I broke my last mic, hopefully I'll have the new mic. I'll have an iPhone 14 Pro, and my videos still probably aren't going to be much better, but we'll see what happens. Hopefully it helps. Yeah, I don't know if we're going too fancy, Pete. We'll see if it helps anything. John's here with us. Got his stuff from last week. Glad you got that, John. Alec from New Hampshire's on with us. Nope, you haven't missed much. Still in the middle of chat. We got lots of chat stuff to talk about. Something else we had talked about last week, since Norma's been laid up, if anybody wanted to send her a license plate, we talked about maybe everybody pitching in and sending her a license plate since she hasn't been around lately. Anybody that wants to do that, if you want to add something to your auction winnings or whatever, just tell me how much you want to add to it. We'll take up a collection, and we'll send her 1 or 2 license plates from the group. So we'll see how we'll see, whatever you guys want to do on that. That was brought up last week, and just thought I'd throw that out there, whatever anybody wants to do on that. So thanks, Pete. Appreciate it. Something else I just picked up. That I know you guys have been waiting on. Thanks, guys. Appreciate that. Coasters. Coasters are here. I just got them today. Tom finished them up today for us. So those will be going out. About half of these are already spoken for. So if you want one of these, like I said, they're $8 a piece. Add them to your auction winnings or whatever. If you want them shipped separately, there will be additional shipping. If not, if you want them, just ship with auction winnings, no problem. I'll just throw them in the boxes. So, like I said, about half these are already spoken for from over the last couple of weeks. However, there are about half of them available. If not, we can always get another run of them made. I just don't know when we would get another run of them, depending on what his schedule is. But for right now, we've got these ready to go. And some of you guys that have already paid for them, I have those receipts on my shipping bench ready to add your coasters to your next batch of auction winnings. So, yeah, Alec, I haven't talked to her in a couple weeks. It was just something with like a knee or something that she had to have some surgery on, and she just wasn't feeling up to hanging out with us and getting involved. So whatever you guys want to do, you let me know, and I'll keep an eye on that. Just put a note on any auction winnings or whatever that you want to contribute for that, and then we'll get something rounded up for her. But that's totally up to you guys. Let's see. All right. Now, back to what I've been doing. They're $8 a piece, bud. Big time, because these are a laser printed deal where this is actually etched in here. So they are $8 a piece. Alec, I'd like one or two send this week. Depends on how many you want, Alec, if you don't have auction winnings. These are like bathroom tiles. They're etched in there. I mean, it's a laser etching into the tile. So that's why they're $8 a piece. $8 a piece. So it just depends on how many you want, Alec. But like I said, and we can figure it out later whatever anybody wants. But they're pretty nice pieces. Like I said, they're 8 a piece. Tom's got his stuff on the back with the corkboard, TV signs and designs. You can check him out on Facebook. In fact, he said sometime he may want to swing by and jump on with us one Sunday night and talk about some of the stuff that he does. So anyway, that's what we've got going there. And you can check those out. And like I said, I've got those here for right now. We'll see what happens, after I sell, if we sell all these, and how long it would take to get another batch. But I've got those as of right now for everybody. So everybody that has paid, you are all covered, and those will start going out. But anyway, this week, what I had going on, I hit the road this week for part of the week. If you guys caught the video from Friday night, you all know that I was back down to the Auburn Cord Duesenberg Company in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. Always love going down there. Great guys. Always have a lot of fun. Big changes going on down there. Anthony's here with us. So we want to go down and talk about the changes, as well as Doug actually has a special car down there that we wanted to do some video on. So we got that shot. We'll have that out sometime in the near future. But obviously the big news was that if you didn't catch the video the other night, you want to go back and watch it. It's not a super exciting video because it's mainly information. But Doug is handing the reins over to his son, Adam. So Billy Bowman's here. Adam has like I said, it's Doug's son. So he is the third generation Prey who is taking over the Auburn Cord Duesenberg Company in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. So it pretty neat deal. He's kind of handing the torch over. Doug is still going to be involved by all means. Doug's he's a card nut like us. He's not going to just walk away from it. He's going to help with a lot of deals, buy and sell some cars, flip some things like that. Adam is going to run day-to-day operations of the shop, the restoration facility, the parts business, things like that. So that what that does is Adam's just a little bit younger than I am. So that is going to ensure the longevity of the Auburn Cord Duesenberg Company and take it to the next generation, literally. The third generation of Prey. Glenn Prey bought the company in 1960. He ran it literally until about 2010. That's when Doug stepped in and took over the company. And now Doug is passing the reins to his son, Adam, to take over the Auburn Cord Duesenberg Company and take it into the future. So as always, tons of amazing things there. We've definitely got more videos coming up. We've got a little shop tour again. Every time we're there, we do a shop tour and look at some of the stuff that's in the shop. Because it's not just Auburn Cord and Duesenberg. I mean, that's what their parts inventory is. That's what they specialize in. But there was a 28 Buick in there. There was a 50 Chevy in there. There's like a late 20s DeSoto in there. So they work on all that stuff. So it is it's a pretty neat deal. So every time we're there, we always try to do a shop tour. So we'll have that coming up. Only we did the shop tour with Adam this time. We talked about the parts a little bit again with Adam. Because there again, it's the shift, it's the next generation. So that stuff is coming up. We looked at some engines that in some of the stuff they're working on, just because some of the engines are so amazing in this stuff. So we did a little shop tour just on 3 engines. As a trivia answer, closed captioning here, you say Auburn Cord Newsburg. I haven't even looked at that on closed captioning number 1. But actually, since I've been out on the road, trivia is the one thing that did not get done tonight. I just got home this afternoon. I put all this together this afternoon, and I didn't get trivia done. And a lot of you guys know trivia is the one thing that always gets cut. Reason being is it takes just as long to build the trivia, find the trivia question, as it does most of these other segments. By the time I start going through 2 or 3 videos, trying to find something that is a little bit tricky, but not too tricky, but not too obvious. So that is typically the last thing that I get to. And with me just getting back this afternoon, I didn't get to trivia for tonight. So sorry, number one, but I'm glad you're here. Ryan and Amy just can't believe how much stuff is there. It's awesome. I love visiting there. They're great guys. We've got a great working relationship, and I was excited that Doug called me and told me about the special car they had. Said, let's put some stuff out with Adam. Let's let everybody know that this is continuing. It's going on. So, didn't even get that far. Number one, didn't even get to a trivia prize this week. Like I said, I literally have been putting all this together in the last couple hours since I got home. So always have a great time down there. Like I said, more cool stuff coming up. If you like those videos, be sure to check out the playlist. I've got an entire playlist with everything that I've done Auburn Core Duesenberg Company on one playlist. So if you're interested in those, you like that stuff, be sure to check that out. I did pick some stuff up while I was there. A few things from my collection and some stuff that we're going to auction off. Now, tonight, we've only got one small piece that we're going to auction off tonight from there just because I wanted to give you a taste of it. But I do have probably 6 or 8 things from Auburn Core Duesenberg that are going to get auctioned off over the next several weeks. And I hope it does well because, I spent a lot of money on this stuff. This stuff is not cheap. And a lot of these parts bins are getting pretty thin on these new pieces. Some of the stuff, if there's anything left, there's not very much of it left. So I hope I didn't gamble wrong and lose a bunch of money on this stuff. But we are going to auction some Auburn Core Duesenberg stuff off. And I've got one small piece tonight, and we'll definitely work some more of that into the upcoming auctions as well. Trivia is not why I tune in week after week. Well, I'm glad it's not just trivia, number one, even though you are the best at it. There's no doubt about it. Pete, his mission is to beat number one at trivia. So, did they sell the street rod at the Auburn Core shop? Actually, Bill, that's a good question. I didn't even think about it. It's not there, so I'm sure Doug did sell it. But I forgot to ask what happened to it. But that's a great question, Bill. I completely spaced that car off while I was there. So we were pretty busy. I was only there one day. We got to town late Wednesday night and I left Friday morning. So we crammed everything I had into one day while we were there, and that's about all I had time to do. So it was pretty busy while I was there. Auburn badge. But like I said, we'll have a lot of cool stuff coming up from the Auburn Core Duesenberg Company. More about 4 or 5 videos we've got from there. Rico and Jess are here, so those will be coming up. Plus, what else did I do while I was down there? Actually, we got to town Wednesday night. I went by a place called Gasoline Alley Classics. Look them up. Check them out. Michael Jones owns this place called Gasoline Alley Classics. I actually met Michael just several years ago, actually. Sam's here with us. He actually came up and bought a 1954 Dodge milk truck from me. Pretty cool old truck. You can still see a part of the name on the dairy on the side of it. Put it on like a 2005 Ram pickup chassis with a 5.7 Hemi in it. He drives the wheels off of this thing. So it was pretty cool. Like I said, we've gotten to know each other well over the years. We just stayed in touch. He was even back then when he come and got the Dodge, he was telling me about this place he was working on, Sapulpa. And his name of his company is Gasoline Alley Classics. He does reproduction oil cans. He does T-shirts. He does a lot of gear. He has some of his own trademark stuff. Lady Luck is one of his trademarks. They make, tin signs and apparel and coffee mugs and all this gearhead related merch type stuff. And he does a lot of it himself. So we stopped by there because we stopped by there a year and a half ago, and I've got some videos from a year and a half ago that I will get uploaded here shortly of this building in process. The building that he actually owns, it's an old brick building in Sapulpa, Oklahoma, that is literally a half a block, maybe a block, no more than a full block off of Route 66. I mean, you can walk out his front door and throw a rock and hit Route 66, the actual Route 66. The building that he is in was a Model T factory. Yes, back in the teens and 20s, they didn't fully assemble all Model Ts in Michigan. A lot of them were shipped out in pieces. And this was a small Model T factory in the teens and the 20s. These parts would come in crates. They literally had a small assembly line in Sapulpa, Oklahoma. And that's where these Model Ts were final assembly happened. And then they were selling the cars out of there at the Sapulpa Motor Company in Sapulpa, Oklahoma. Michael has completely renovated this building. The back part, he has a shop area where he makes a lot of his stuff. The front part is a beautiful showroom, hardwood floors. The entire Route 66 is stained into the hardwood floors. Porcelain signs. They've got a Model T and a Model A Roadster pickup on display in there. Super cool place. So we're got some content coming from there. Bill Disks here with us. Glad you made it. I've got the videos from a year and a half ago when it was in process. I've got a video we shot the other night of the finished project. And also, we did a video on the Dodge milk truck. It was dark when we were there and it was outside, but the street lights and stuff lit it up pretty well. So we're going to do a walk around on the 1954 Dodge milk truck that he actually picked up from me years ago and put together as his work truck. They've run the entire Route 66 with that Dodge, literally from all the way to California. So he actually, believe it or not, drove this completely patinaed out, looks literally exactly like the day I picked it up with the loader and sat it on his trailer. It looks exactly like that, and they drove that thing right down Rodeo Drive in Beverly Hills. So, I mean, this old patinaed out 54 Dodge milk truck with the faded out old dairy lettering on the side rolled it right down Rodeo Drive. He said there were more people taking pictures of that truck than anything else around there. He said, I was taking pictures of people taking pictures of the milk truck. And he even named it. It's called Low Fat because he's got it slammed on the ground on that Dodge pickup chassis. So he's got a personalized license plate that says Low Fat. So it's the Low Fat milk truck. So pretty neat. We got a video coming up on that. Not something we get to do that often, is show you the finished product out of a project that I sold. So let's see. Big job. You got a trivia question? First YouTube video winner will get. Big job. I got a trivia question. What's Big Job's first YouTube video? Highlander's here with us. So anyway, that's coming up. Lots of cool stuff from Gasoline Alley Classics. Be sure to check them out on Facebook as well. I don't think the website is up right now, but they are on Facebook. A lot of cool stuff on there. We've got a few things that I picked up there that we're going to work into some raffles. He donated some Lady Luck stickers for the raffle winners. I don't know if we'll do those this month or next month, but be sure to check out Gasoline Alley Classics. And definitely when we get the content up, you'll get a little better idea of what they did with this absolutely amazing building to get it to this point and renovate it, put it back in use right literally on Route 66 in Sapulpa, Oklahoma. Tony's here with us. Give us some Auburn badge. And plus, while I was out on the road, hit a salvage yard, actually stumbled onto an auction yesterday morning. So I got the whole truck full of parts. I got some cool stuff I picked up at the auction. And so I got cool stuff for Toy Tuesday. I got all kinds of parts inventory to sort through. Some of it's going to end up right down here in the auction boxes. There's actually a couple things in the auction boxes already. I've got one piece from ACD, but while we were out hitting, and found some stuff in an antique shop. I got one of those pieces in here. Got an emblem, but like I said, the truck is mostly full. Saw a couple things on top. Grabbed those for tonight, but we'll get some more worked in over the next several weeks of auctions. So lots of cool stuff coming up. Anyway, let's keep on rolling. Looks like we're caught up on comments. Let's get into tonight's promo model. Check out some badges and emblems. Get into some auctions. Check out a magazine. And talk about the raffle. So, that being said, let's keep on moving into tonight's promo model. Moving up several years into the 80s, but it's kind of crazy to think the 80s stuff is almost 40. Some of the early 80s stuff is now 40 years old. This promo is one I've always really thought was pretty cool. stumbled is Chad Slangford had scheduled on the calendar the Big Red Start. Well, actually, this auction, I literally stumbled on it, literally, because I was driving down the street and there was a little sign that it was in front of a little community center, said auction today. I saw a couple of 5-gallon cans and a couple of signs, not necessarily automotive signs. There was a hotel sign and some other stuff, but there was enough there that it piqued my interest. So I was like, U-turn, go back, park, and actually did come up with some pretty cool stuff that we'll be having on Toy Tuesday. So it literally was stumbled on. Literally did not know anything about it. Actually, I was heading to a salvage yard that morning, so it kind of wonkied up my schedule. But I did get it all squeezed in. Ended up with more good stuff at the salvage yard. Ended up with some cool stuff at the auction. So Straight Six fan Grant, he's an 80s model. Yep. So it literally was, honestly, I did stumble onto it. Completely 100% stumble onto it. Did not know a thing about it until 15 minutes before it started. But it was worth stopping at. So, but this promo model, and a lot of these aren't that rare, as Bill still on who can attest to it. This one I particularly like because I actually have the real car, so identical to it. The silver 1984 Corvette promo. Now, a lot of these 80s Corvettes are fairly common, especially the late 80s and early 90s. This is a silver 84, which is actually what mine is. My 84 is silver. Mine's getting a little rough. I haven't driven it in 20-some years, and it's going to need a lot of work when I get it back out. I know the interior's about shot in it. And last time I tried to start it, which was 10 years ago, it wouldn't start. So that's correct. Actually correct, Grant. That's where I was just going with this. 83, there was no Corvette. That's supposedly why this promo was done in silver, because 83 would have been the 30th anniversary. So a lot of the 84 stuff was done in silver because there was no 83. There is technically one 83 Corvette, and I believe there's one car that is technically an 83 that is in the museum in Bowling Green. However, they did not produce a 1983 Corvette. Yes, they were Crossfire. That is exactly what they were. Pete, got a 93 Yellow Firebird promo today. Created another monster. Sorry about that, Pete. Ozark Fox, 52 Studebaker pickup on a 98 Dakota using the Dakota. Oh, wow, used the cab bed floor and everything. Wow, you kind of swapped everything on right over the Dakota floor and everything. Sounds like it would come out cool. Bill, no 83 did do prototypes for no actual product or promo. Big job. Why no 83? The 83, the development on this car, which obviously was a completely new car at the time, was not quite ready at the end of 82. It would have had to have been a very late introduction, 83. However, it met all 84 crash standards and was completely legal for 1984. So they would have had to have been a very, very late introduction 83 or an early introduction 84. At least that's what I read. So they chose to just basically skip the 83, call the 83, and the early 80, the first cars built, just call them 84s, even though they're built in 83. My car is actually very early. My car is VIN number 2000. They made 51,084 Corvettes because it was such a long run. It was basically like a full year and a half of production. But my car was built in 83, and it was the 2000th one built. My VIN ends in 20000. And it is a silver 84 Corvette. So this promo here, this is obviously, it is in great shape. This one's never been used or abused. The funny thing about the 84 Corvette promo in silver is it was painted. Pete, did the 83 fall in the sinkhole? I don't think it did. I'm not sure, but I don't think it did. Did they hold back some 82s and sell through 83? That I do not know. I'm not sure on that. But the 84 Corvette promo in silver was actually painted. If you look at the bottom of it, it's kind of a dull gray. But to get the actual metallic silver, and you can see the interior is kind of the dull gray, these were actually a painted promo. So the actually exterior body of this has been painted. This one's in great shape. It's never been used or abused or played with. Probably always been on a shelf even before I got it. So, like I said, some of these 84s, 85s, you don't see them quite as often. But by the early 90s, those Corvette promos are still pretty common. You can find them about anywhere. These are still pretty common, not quite as common as the other ones, but a neat piece. Obviously, for me, having the exact same matching car, I've always liked it. So, Allen and C promos are starting to get new respect. Yeah, they are. It's pretty cool. How do you tell it's a promo? Well, just I've been doing it so long, it's always easy to tell. A lot of the promos actually had the year cast into the license plates. The bottom sides of these, a lot of model car kits actually have an engine you put together and put in them. Most promos do not have that. Most promos, the bottoms are fairly, plain almost, just stuff that's cast into them. Jeff, injection molding of metallic plastic generally doesn't come out too well. Yeah, and that's why I'm sure these were painted, was to get that full, metallic effect, since they wanted a bright silver on it. Pete had a real 84 bronze over brown. So that's the promo for tonight. The 1984 Corvette silver on silver. That matches my exact car. One of these days I ought to get it back out. Like I said, I know it's going to need a ton of work now. It's been sitting so long, but there again, you always want the toys to match the real ones. This one's in good shape. And there again, it's kind of crazy to think about that this promo is almost 40 years old. So that's what we've got for tonight. I hope you guys liked it. Something a little bit different than some of the earlier stuff, but we'll always like to mix it up a little bit with the silver on silver 1984 Corvette. That's a badge. Leo says, get it fixed. Yeah, one of these days, there's a lot of cars ahead of it, too. Eric's on eBay looking for a 74 Corvette promo. I think they did do 74, so Kenny likes it. Appreciate that. Let's check out some emblems. Starting off with the pre-war, then we'll finish up with the post-war. A couple of cool pieces tonight. I hope you guys enjoy them. Gray Kitty, can I have the emblems, please? Yes, Gray Kitty's sitting right here. Pete, even though they're not as popular as other Corvettes, they handled incredibly. Yeah, especially for the time. For their time, they handled amazingly. Scott's on with us on Facebook. Just getting ready to get into the emblem, Scott. So had a lot of stuff to talk about in open chat, and just got done with the promo. We're moving on to some emblems. Starting off with the pre-war, this thing is super, super cool. This emblem is a 1937 through 1940 D-Series International side hood badge. Check this thing out. These are aluminum, and it is super detailed the way all these letters are stamped into this aluminum, as well as these ridges. You look at the back of this thing, you see how clear that stamping was. These were, stud mount. Pete just says sold. They did a great job on this emblem. Like I said, this is 1937 to 1940 era D-Series truck. It is 16 inches long, but it's only an inch tall. So 16 inches by 1 inch. This actually had screws on it, countersunk head screws that literally just ran right through the side of the hood. They had just little nuts on the back of it. This has all the original countersunk screws with it. It is a cool piece. Like I said, this thing polished up would look like $1 million. It does look great. So, Jeff, other promos from MPC that were molded in color and a clear or transparent version of the color with metallic in it were amazing in their paint finish. I'm not extremely familiar, Jeff. I'll have to actually check some other promos and see if I can see something kind of like you're describing on some of my other promos. So, Leo says, could be cool, put it on a tractor. Yeah. But like I said, 16 inches long, super cool detail, the way this thing was stamped out. And even on the back, like I said, you can even see on the back how well this thing was stamped out, how clearly they did it, in the late 30s. But there again, they didn't have a lot of stuff to identify these vehicles. They had to do it right with their badges and emblems. So, is the kitty? Are you Ed McMahon? Hey, are you Ed McMahon? I think you're just a pain in the butt is what I think you are. Yes. I said you're a pain in the butt. See, I told you. Jason says it's perfect the way it is. Sure makes this international badge from last week look ugly. Yeah, this is a great piece. It really is. Kat, do you mind? Yes. Hi. But there we have for the pre-war badge. Alan, they were a good-looking truck also. The D-Series were a good-looking truck. Cat move on the 37 to 40. Like this went right on the side of the hood. So this is what you saw looking at the side of the front of the truck. Do you mind, Cat? All right. Why don't you go sit over here out of the way? Yes. There you go. Good job. So there we go. We'll start off with the pre-war 37-40 international badge. Then we're going to move into some post-war emblem. Excuse me. This is a really great piece. I actually forgot that I had it. We're going to give you an Auburn badge in the meantime. Yes. Can I help you? Yes. Can I help you? Look, there's a Gray Kitty. Yes. Say hi to everybody. Go sit down. There you go. No, sit in your spot. Your spot is over there. This other badge we're going to check out, I actually forgot I had it. I remember stripping this car years ago. There was hardly nothing left of it. So I was lucky there was still one badge on it. And I'm glad that I got it. It's also kind of related to one of the cars that I have. Do you mind? How about you go sit over here because you're kind of in the way. All right, you sit over there. You need a shot? You need a shot of whiskey? It might calm you down a little bit. But this badge, like I said, when I found this car, I found it in a scrapyard, and there was not anything near left enough of it worth dragging to make it worth dragging it out, which really sucked because I would have loved to have had this car, but there was just not hardly anything left of it. It was destroyed, but I did get one badge off it. And it was a 1958 Pontiac, which I've got a restored 58 Chieftain, but this one was a Safari wagon. This is a 58 only font. And like I said, I was excited there was at least one emblem left on it. There wasn't much left on it, but it did have one emblem left on it. Yes, hello, cat. Yes, can I help you? Can I help you? Yes. So, yeah, like I said, I've got a restored 58 Pontiac. So this piece here I was super glad to get. I really wish there had been something left of the car that could have justified dragging it in. Zach's here with us. And, yeah, she's mooning everybody. I was glad to get one emblem off of this. Does have a few pits in it, but it isn't broken. The chrome still has a nice shine on it. Ow! And her claws are out. Ow! All right, you're getting down. All right, that's enough. There, sit. This 58 Pontiac Safari badge is 11 inches long and about 2 inches high. So it's almost a foot long. Nice chrome. It is a 58 font. Half cat, half parakeet. Half cat, half pain in the butt. Don't bite me. Sit. No, you sit over there. When I tell you what to do, don't bite me. But there again, this being a 58 only font, it's kind of a rare piece. Obviously, I'm a fan of 58 Pontiac, so I was excited to have this piece, even though it's kind of rough. That's right. Typical Johnny show with the animals. I believe he's referring to you being a pest. I forgot about that. I forgot Johnny Carson used to have animals on the show. I completely forgot about that. This is a flat emblem. It was stud mount, pop metal. I believe these were on the rear doors as well as the tailgate on the 58 Pontiac Safari. So neat piece. I was super excited to be able to get it, add it to my collection. So there we have, that's what we have this week for the pre-war and post-war emblem collection, the International and the 1958 Pontiac Safari. Let's see. Pete says that literally was like when Johnny would have animals on the show. Live stream assault. Yeah. Live stream assault. Key one. Yeah. You want the spotlight, don't you? Yes, don't you? You pest. So anyway, that's what we've got for tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed them. I might have a tiger. Yeah, I might have a tiger. Alex just likes them both. Yep. And here, I know you're an emblem fan like I am. So. The Gray Kitty Show. Should it be called the Gray Kitty Show? It should be called the Pain in the Butt Show is what it could be called with you. Anyway, who's ready for some auctions? Let's sell some cool stuff. Let's add some pieces to your collection. Let's try to recover some of the money I spent this weekend or this week. From last week, a few notes. Tim bought the international dump truck. I had shipping on that. Shipping wasn't quite as bad as I thought it was going to be. So Tim's got a few bucks in credit from that shipping on that. Anybody that paid at the end of the week last week, since I left Wednesday, I did get some payments at the end of the week. That stuff obviously has not shipped, and you will not be in the raffle at this point when we do the raffle. I'll have them in before next week. But when I go through the who's in the raffle, you won't be. I mean, and you paid at the end of the week. I won't have you in there yet, and I also won't. Your stuff won't ship till tomorrow. So Alex had to look it up, see what that Safari looked like. So we got all kinds of cool stuff. Johnny Z, you want stickers of Gray Kitty? Gray Kitty's a pain in the butt. But that's kind of about all we got hanging from last week. As always, rules of the auction. I will show you an item. We will look at it. We will check it out. Mark's on with us just in time for the auction. We will check out the piece. I'll show you the dimensions of it. We'll look at the condition of it. We'll talk about where it came from, what it does, where it came from on a vehicle, or what it's for. We will discuss that. We will and then I will throw it on a 2-minute timer. As we're discussing it, as we're looking at it, if you guys are interested in it, that's right, Zach. I'll have to get that Missouri tag in there. Since that was a raffle deal, I forgot to throw it in there. But we'll get her in there this time. Put a note of there on your payment, too. That way I don't forget, since that was a couple weeks ago. I've still got it in the tub. I just forgot to grab it because my week got pretty hectic trying to get out of here because this Oklahoma trip didn't materialize until Monday afternoon. So I had a lot of stuff I had to get done in about a day and a half to get out of here and get on the road. But as we're describing it, if you're interested in it, throw something out there, even if it's $5 or $10, to let me know we've got some interest to get it started. After we get done with the description, I will throw it on a timer right here on my phone. I will give you 2 minutes. I will tell you when 1 minute has passed. I will tell you when a minute 20 has passed, and I will tell you when a minute 30 has passed. All these systems have delays depending on whether you're on a computer, a phone, a tablet. It depends on your internet service. We've had delays up to 20 to 25 seconds. So when I tell you a minute and a half has now passed, it is time to be thinking about that max bid and throw it out there. If you're thinking you want to go to $50 on something and it's only at 30, you might want to go closer to the 50 because inevitably every week we'll have several people who will go try to bid $1 or $2, but at the end somebody snipes them. So think about your max bid and don't be afraid to throw it out there. As we're ticking along, I will explain, I'll tell you when things are going up past on time so you can go ahead and get your bid in there. Payments, check, money order, Western Union, PayPal, friends and family only. Non-U.S. bidders, you're always welcome to play. However, you will have to figure out how to pay me, and there will be costs associated with that, whether you do a bank wire. I think a non-U.S. bank wire is $35 or $40 for the wire. So we'll have to figure out how you can pay me, and then you will be responsible for shipping. Most of the smaller items that we sell, shipping is included in the 48 states. I just got to figure that in. If it is a bigger item and there is additional shipping, I will announce that prior to selling it. As always, if you have any questions, my number is in the description for this videos. If there's something you're not sure about, but you want to bid, go ahead and throw a bid in out there. And if you're not sure what to do, call me tomorrow and we'll work it out. Not a big deal. Jason's 4 deep already. We'll better help you out with that. So anyway, I think that covers everything for the auction. Mark says check's on the way. Perfect. Leo says watch for the snipers. That's true. We've got some guys that are getting really, really good at that snipe. So that's why I always tell you, if you're thinking about going an extra 10 and you only bid an extra 2, you're better off going with the extra $10 because that sometimes saves a lot of guys when they do it. Anyway, Jason's got some catching up to do. Let's get started. I don't know where we should start. Actually, I do know where we'll start. We'll start with a couple of cans that didn't get paid for. Some cheaper cans to start off with that didn't get paid for from a couple of months ago. I don't even remember who they were, but they never got paid for. So we're going to resell them. Like I said, they're cheaper cans to kind of get things rolling tonight. An Atlas polishing cloth can. This one is a fairly rough one. It actually has a rusty top on it. Has good bright colors, but it is definitely a little rough around the edges. Does have lots of scratches and scuffs in it, but it is pretty much all legible. This is 5 3/8 by 3 5/8. on the Atlas polishing cloth can. Along with that, the other can that didn't sell as part of those is the Conoco cooling system anti-rust. This does have some surface rust. The front of this can doesn't look too bad. Original cap, has a good Conoco label on it. It has like a road map all the way around the can. The back of it is a little bit rougher, but it's a nice sized can, not counting the top. It is 5 7/8 by 3 5/8, 5 7/8, not counting the top, so a little over 6 inches with the cap. So, like I said, these did not get paid for probably close to 2 months ago. These are more entry-level cans. So, Alex going to kick us off at 5 to get us rolling on these. So, like I said, these are not high-dollar cans. They are starter cans. But this one's kind of okay. This one still is pretty cool. So, Tweety D doesn't even remember. Man, it's been a few months back. So, anyway, on the pair, let's go ahead and get them on the timer. Alex started us off at 5, which they got to be worth more than that. Even though I know they're not super high-dollar cans, they're still cool pieces. Randy at 10, Dennis at 10. I had Randy first at 10. And they're nice size, good display cans. Colorado Memorial finishes on with us again tonight. Let me get started on my notes here. Dennis at 12. Starter cans, like a starter wife. I don't know. I got Alex at 12 also. I had Alex at 12 on Facebook first. So I've got Alec at 12 is my high bidder at this point. They just come in just before you, Dennis. I'm froze up with Mark, so hopefully most of you guys are still ticking along. Mark is frozen. Let me know if you guys are hung up. I've got Alec at 12. As we come up on the 1 minute mark. 1 minute has now passed. I've got Alec at 12. I had Dennis at 12 on here, but I had Alec pop up right before that. Dennis at 14. Okay, there we go. Got Dennis at 14, just past the 1 minute mark. And 120 has now passed. Dennis at 14. 1 minute, 30 seconds has now passed. Dennis at 14 is the high bidder. $20 seconds left to go. 15. Dennis at 14. 10 seconds to go. I've got Dennis at 14. And that does it. Dennis at 14. X-Ray Dean's here. Hudson badge. What else I'll tell you what, let's do something else cool. How about an emblem? We all like emblems, right? Anybody remember this emblem? Yep, let's sell this one. This is a great piece. We just spent a lot of time talking about it. And, it's an extra one that I can go ahead and sell. So, we're going to sell this one. I know a lot of you guys were pretty excited about it just a few seconds ago. Tweety D's kicking us off at 15. Alex starting at 30. I've got Alec at 30. The bids are already pouring in, but Alec at 30 is my high bidder on the beautiful 37-40 International Side Hood badge on the D Series. Real quickly, I'll give you the dimensions on this thing again. Reno at 75. It is 16 inches by 1 inch with the original countersunk screws and nuts. I've got Reno at 75. Let's go ahead and get this thing on the timer. Let's see if Reno scared everybody or not. He's done that a few times in the past. That he scared them off right out of the gate with a strong bid. But this is a cool piece. If you guys can make out the detail on this thing, man, if you took a little time and polished this thing up, I think these letter inserts were white originally. Repaint the white in those, that thing would be amazing. Reno at 75. And there again, this thing is 80 some years old. Alec at 100. It's 37-40, so it's at least 82 years old. And look at the condition on this thing. Alec at 100 as we come up on the 1 minute mark. 1 minute has now passed. Alec at 100. You look at the detail on this thing, think this thing is 80 to 85 years old and still looks this good. That's what's amazing about this piece. Alec at 100 right now as we come up on the minute 20 mark. A minute 20 has now passed. Reno's back in at 120. And just about to that minute 30 mark. 1 minute 30 seconds has now passed. Be thinking about that maximum bid if you're going to get in on this thing. Reno at 120 on the international badge. It is pretty straight. It's got a little tiny dinky right here, but nice and flat, pretty clean. Reno at 120 with 15 seconds left to go. Coming down to the wire, Reno at 120. Just about done. And that does it. Reno at 120. Great piece. So that's that's, like I said, beautiful, beautiful emblem. Alec even agreed. He was out, but he said that's a cool piece. It is a great piece, that's for sure. All right, what else we want to do? Let's start off with get a license plate stuck in here. Kind of start off with a more common one, but a pretty cool one and in nice condition. But it's nice colors and it's a lower number, 3-digit number. So let's go ahead and sell this Kansas license plate. Believe it or not, we got a license plate tonight that is not Kansas because I was out on the road and I found a couple of cool license plates. We got one of those we're going to sneak in here after a while as well. The first license plate we're going to do is a 1964 Kansas. Real nice colors, and it's a 3-digit plate. That's what makes it cool as well. The 1964 CD in number 536. Big Job's exhausted just after watching that auction. Carlot here has a panel truck, one of those for a sign. Yeah, that's cool. 1964 Kansas. Obviously, you can see beautiful colors. Nice deep blue, white letters, 3-digit, 536. Great shine on this plate. You can kind of see the sheen just off the lights. Tweedledee's kicking us off at 20. This is not cut. This is a squared off tag with the state of Kansas stamped into it. Back of it looks just as good. Nice looking 3-digit 1964 plate. Let's see. Tweedledee at 20 is my high bidder. Let's go ahead and get this thing live. Tweedledee at 20. Alec at 23. Alec at 23 as we're ticking along on the 1964 Kansas 3-digit plate. Great condition, super shiny, super cool. Neat piece. What do we want to do next? I've got to be thinking ahead here a little bit, paying a little closer attention here. Reno at 40. Got Reno at 40 as we're coming up on the 1 minute mark. Yeah, David W., it does have great blue. We'll catch that here in just a second, Zach. Reno at 40. on as we hit the 1 minute mark. I've got Reno at 40 on the 1964 Kansas plate. Beautiful deep blue, nice shine, good color, nice looking piece. Mark him in at 30, but I've got Reno at 40. Reno's got this one covered at 40 at this point. 1 minute, 20 seconds has now passed. Coming up on the minute 30 mark, Reno at 40. And 1 minute, 30 seconds has now passed. I've got Reno at 40 is my high bidder. $20 seconds to go. Reno at 40. 10. And that'll get it. Reno wins again at 40. Kenny came in at 46 right after he sold his. Zach came in right after that. Holy cow. Everybody missed that one by 3 seconds. Reno would have got outbid three times in like if we'd had 2 more seconds. But when we pulled the plug at 2 minutes, it was Reno at 40. All right, I got one other piece that we need to resell from about the same time as the other cans that just didn't get paid for. It's a little bit different. It's a Standard Oil Company product, but it's a little bit different. This is actually garden dust. This package is a dust gun filled and ready to use. I'm sure some of you guys are going to remember this because it's pretty unique. When did Kansas stop putting years on the plates? I know 81 it was stamped in it, and they had stickers after that, so. But anyway, Zach, the plate for Norma. I forgot to get to that. I told everybody, you guys do whatever you want to do. If you want to throw a few bucks onto your winnings or onto your auction winnings, as just for something for Norma, we'll get 1 or 2 plates depending on what everybody decides they want to do. I'll go through anybody that wants to donate, and we'll pick out a couple, 1 or 2 plates and send them to her, depending on what everybody decides to do. So that's what we're going to do, Zach. If you want to throw a few bucks onto your auction winnings for tonight or whatever, just PayPal it direct. Just put a note in there of how much is for that, and then we'll go over it next week, and we may hold up a couple different license plates and pick out what we're going to send her. So David W. is calibrating his snipe, guys, so watch out for that. But this thing, and I'm sure some of you guys remember it, the Standard Oil Products garden dust gun. Has a little pump thing here, has a cool Standard logo on it. Says garden dust on it. I don't know if it's for like insects or what. It is obviously Standard Oil product, just a little bit different than what we typically do. Like I said, it did not get paid for a couple months ago. Sorting through the tub. That's right. Don't snort it. That's for sure. 14.5 inches long and about 2 1/4 in diameter. So is anybody interested in the garden dust gun this time around, since it did not get paid for last time? X-Ray D is old enough to actually remember them. So, like I said, something a little different. Yeah, it's right. You can hide money inside of it. That's true. It is a cardboard tube with metal ends. It has the instructions on the back. Brian says 10 for Norma on his list for when he comes and gets the car. Okay. Note that down here. So anyway, the Standard Oil Products dust gun. Anybody? I don't see anybody jumping in on this one, so maybe we'll just throw it back in and mix it in with a bundle or something later on. Jason's going to go 10 on it. Okay, we'll go ahead and roll with it. Dennis threw 5 out. Jason's going to kick in at 10 on the Standard dust gun. Let's go ahead and get it on the timer. X-Ray Dean's at 12. Like I said, even though it is not oil, it is still a cool piece, and it definitely has the oil company logo right there on it. Lots of information on the back, how to use the gun, as well as household type uses for the product. Jason at 15. Precautions. Do not mix standard garden dust with other insecticides or fungicides. Good to know. This was the gun, actually. It actually has a... I don't know. Comes apart, and that's what's inside of it. 1 minute has now passed. Any dates on it? Almost to the minute 20 mark. It says 748-4-58 down here in tiny letters, so maybe it's late 50s. And 1 minute 30 seconds has almost passed on the Standard Oil dust gun. I think, yeah, it came out this end. 1 minute 30 has passed. When I do this, I can feel air coming out of this hole, so that's how it worked. X-ray at 16. 20 seconds left to go. X-ray at 16. Jason at 17. 10 seconds left. And that does it. Jason at 17. Actually, Zach, Sevendust is an outstanding band. Sevendust is great. In case you guys haven't ever heard of Sevendust, you really have a great point, Zach. Sevendust is awesome because LeJean actually lives in Kansas City, and I actually listen to a radio station out of Kansas City every morning, and LeJean is actually on there quite a bit. So, yeah, Sevendust is outstanding. Big Sevendust fan right here also. All right. What else we got cooking? About time to do a hubcap, I think, isn't it? Got a couple of hubcaps to do yet tonight. We got license plate. We have actually got a lot of emblems and badges tonight. So Mark just popped up at 20, so there must be a heck of a delay on stuff tonight. Well, that or you're starting at the hubcap at $20 and don't even care what it is. This is a pretty cool cap. It is a used original. It is mid-50s, and it is a nice piece. It looks great. Like we talk about a lot of stuff, the original stuff has a story. It's been around the block a time or two. There's a Auburn badge. Zach's seen him live. I've never seen Sevendust live, but I bet that's an outstanding show. But on this cap, this is a mid-50s era, I think it's half-ton Chevy pickup cap. Has a great look to it. Obviously, the bow tie in it has a white background. We can see the white's got some thin spots, some scratches in it. A few dings and dents in this cap. But overall, not too bad. Great display piece. I mean, you can see the shine. You can see this. I mean, you can see everything in the background of with the like a mirror in the reflection. It is a pretty wall hanger X-ray, that's for sure. Where's the small special piece for tonight? I've got that one ACD piece we need to dig out here in a little bit. Alec is at 15 on the Chevy cap. Change holder. Yeah. This is about 10 inches OD all the way out to the back. The inside diameter here, a little bit smaller, but it's 10 inches all the way out to here. Nice chrome all the way around the edges. Alec at 15 is my first bid on this Chevrolet cap. This is mid-50s era pickup. The back looks pretty cool. John says he needs 4, so we just got one right now. But there it is on the mid-50s era Chevy cap. Alec at 15. Let's go ahead and make this thing go live. Here we go. Mark at 40. Kind of do some looking around here, see what else I got laying around I need to get to. Got a lot of badges tonight for some reason. I need to get some more badges worked in here. Mark at 40 is my high bidder. As we're ticking along towards the 1 minute mark. Actually, this is the only one I had on the shelf. I don't know if I've got any more of these or not. But 1 minute has now passed. Mark at 40. Tim's here. Glad you made it. X-Ray says, I'm on a budget, or should be. Should be is the key word in a lot of these deals. And 120 has now passed. Mark at 40. Minute 30. We're at the minute 30 mark. I've got Mark at 40. That's right. Yeah, it's 55, 56, Zach. That's what it was mid-50s. I knew that. So 20 seconds left to go. Mark at 40 is my high bidder. $10 seconds left. And that will do it. Mark at 40. Zach came in at 46. Alex waiting for another wow piece. Yeah, we got a lot of cool stuff coming yet. So let's get a few emblem auctions worked in here. Like I said, for some reason I ended up with a lot of emblems ready tonight. So we'll have got a few more of those we want to do. Yep, the delay got you on the snipe on that one. That's for sure, Zach. This next emblem is a single. There's no scratches on the studs. I don't really know much about it. There were two of these in the big emblem bucket I bought from that buddy of mine earlier this year. This is a nose badge for about a 64 Corvette. Tim got his dump truck pretty cool. Yeah, and like I announced earlier, Tim, that didn't cost quite as much to ship, so you got a couple bucks in credit since that shipping was not as bad as I thought on that. Eric at 30. This Corvette badge, this is the one that goes on the nose of the car. This is bent a little bit. It should have a little bit more curve to it. I know it's kind of hard to see there. This piece is kind of flattened out a little bit. Alec at 35. There are no scratches on the studs of this thing. I don't know if this is new old stock or reproduction, but it does have a GM number on it right here. So I don't know what the deal is, but I know it's bent just a little bit, but it looks great. The coloring is gone out of the flags. This thing is five across here and about 4.5 tall. Eric at 40 on the Corvette badge. Let's get this thing on the timer and get it going. This went right out on the peak of the nose of the car. So kind of a neat piece. Like I said, I don't know the whole story on it. There were two of them in that butt and all that big, huge tote of emblems. I think it's a 64, Kenny. I'm not sure on that, but I think it's a 64. I'm obviously keeping one and I'm selling one. So this is it. This is your shot, guys. If you want to add one to your collection, like I said, I don't know anything about them. Don't know where they came from, but there were two in there. So I'm going to sell one to you. I've got Eric at 40. Obviously, it's got a great shine to it. Chrome looks really nice, not all pitted or scraped up. Eric at 40. As we come up on the 1 minute mark. 1 minute has now passed. Alec at 45. Obviously, you guys are fighting some pretty serious delays tonight, the way it looks. So please bear that in mind when you get ready to hit your max bid. Stop talking about it. We're on the timer. I told everybody we go to the 2 minutes, Eric. So Alec at 45. Eric at 50. And 1 minute, 30 seconds has passed. Eric at 50 is my high bidder. Coming down to the wire on this thing. If you're going to jump in on this, it is time to be thinking about it because we obviously have some big delays. Eric at 50 with 20 seconds left to go. $10. Alec at 60 with 10 seconds left. We're coming down to the wire. Just about done on this. Alec at 60. And that does it. Alec at 60. Eric came back at 65 right after the fact. Rusty, did I get the payment? It depends on, I don't know that I've gotten it, but there were several that came through at the end of the week when I was out of town, Rusty, and I have not printed those out yet. I just seen they were in there. I have not printed those out. So if you want me to double check, call me tomorrow. So, and I can double check that and make sure we're staying good on that, Rusty. Hudson Badge. Let's work in another license plate. Let's back things up a few years. Reno's bid just came in from a couple of minutes ago, so I don't know when you threw that one out there, Reno, but that's was obviously a long time coming. Let's back up a few years on another Kansas license plate. A 1950 this time. In 1950, this is an aluminum plate, basically just stamped aluminum, no background color. This is all raw aluminum with green lettering. Pretty neat plate, kind of different. This one actually, it's a standard size license plate, like 12 by 6, what we see on a lot of these. Yeah, basic 12 by 6 plate. No, this was just a raw aluminum background, actually, Tweedledee, just like it is on the back. Aluminum plate with green lettering. So that's what it was. A few little dingies around it. Overall, it's pretty flat. See the embossing on the back, but just basically raw aluminum with green letters. This is original paint. Does have some fading, scuffs, scratches, things like that on this one. But still a cool piece. So, yeah, it is kind of interesting the way they did that in raw aluminum because they were steel up before that and steel after that. They used aluminum for 2 or 3 years there in the late 40s, early 50s, and then went right back to steel plates. So I don't know what the reasoning was unless there were just tons of, processed aluminum from warplanes or something they used. I have no idea. But there for 2 or 3 years, they used aluminum on plates in Kansas. So anyway, on the 1950 Kansas license plate, let's go ahead and get things rolling. We're on the timer on this thing. And no bids yet. I don't know if everything's hung up or what the deal is. That's kind of odd, especially on a license plate that somebody hasn't started us off. Tweedledee at 20. I don't know how long that has been in there, but Tweedledee at 20. It's tough to find. There again, with raw aluminum, the only thing being colored is these letters, and the coloring is held up fairly well. X-Ray Dean at 22. Got X-Ray at 22. It is kind of unique, David. That's why I kind of pulled it out and pointed it out that way. It is a little unique. Market 25. And 1 minute has now passed. Yeah, you might need to refresh or restart, Reno, because you're obviously way behind on that last bid. Market 25. And a minute 20 has now passed, coming on that minute 30 mark. Tweedledee at 26. As we hit the 1 minute 30 second mark, if you're going to jump in on this thing, now is the time with less than 30 seconds left to go. Tweedledee at 26. Mark at 27. 20 seconds left to go. X-ray at 28. 10 seconds. Mark at 29. And that does it. Mark at 29. And then Alec at 29 right there, right after that. So some of you guys made the comment that refresh, and that's made a world of difference on the delays. So refresh, restart on YouTube, I think is probably definitely going to help things out over there. Let's do some Chevy badges. Let's do a little badge bundle. We haven't done any badge bundles yet. I've got several of them here for tonight. Some Chevy, some Mopars, even an Oldsmobile. But we haven't done any bundles. Reno tried several times. Might just start throwing bids out. They won't even know what I'm bidding on. There you go, Reno. We're just going to throw bids out. It'll be like Christmas if he gets something. He won't even know what he's bidding on. I guess that's one way to look at it. The first little badge bundle we're going to do. Shopcat's here with us. How about an Auburn badge? But the first little badge bundle for tonight is Chevrolet car, starting off with a little Malibu, I believe from the 70s. This is a metal badge, flat stud mount, nice chrome. 3 3/8 by an inch. So it's a smaller Malibu, about 3 3/8 by an inch on that one. A set of rally flags from the early to mid 60s. These are also pop metal, stud mount, flat emblem. This is 3 1/4 by about 2. So about 3 1/4 by about 2. Studs and nuts are intact. And the last emblem. I'm wondering that 35 was the license plate, Alec. I'm not sure. So let me know if you're on the Chevy emblems or on the license plate or on the emblems, because we haven't done all the emblems yet. The last emblem is a Corvair Monza. Kind of a neat little badge if you're a Corvair fan. This is 4 3/8 by 4. 4 3/8 by 4. So, Alec, let me know if you're on the Chevy emblems or if that was an old bid, since it kind of popped up. Okay, Alec is kicking us off on the emblems at 35 on the Chevy emblems. All three, one money. Alec is starting us off at 35 on all three. Let's get this thing rolling on the timer so I can get my notes made. Mark at 40 on the Chevy badge bundle. What was the Corvette? It was 60 is where it ended up at, Eric. Yeah, it's kind of neat stuff. It's kind of a mixture with the Corvair, the Malibu, and then these are, the rally flags they used on multiple different Chevys in the early to mid 60s. So all three, one money. We are live on the timer. I've got Mark at 40 on the bundle. Eric at 45. As we hit the 1 minute mark, Eric at 45 is our high bidder. And 1 minute, 20 seconds has now passed. Eric at 45 is still my high bidder. Sniper fire for lag. That's right, Leo. It's tricky tonight. And 1 minute, 30 seconds has now passed. If you're going to jump in on these, now is the time. Eric at 45 is the high bidder. Depending on what your lag is, your bid may come in right at the end. Eric at 45 on all three pieces. Mark at 50. 15 seconds. Mark at 50 is my high bidder. 10 seconds left to go. Alec at 51. Reno at 51. I had Alec at 51 first. Eric at 55 snuck it in there. Eric came in right back at 55, just right at the very last second, because that was Alec at 51, Reno at 51, Eric at 55, and then boom, 2 minutes. So Eric at 55 is where we ended up at the 2 minute mark. That was a little done. Coasters are $8 a piece. If you need them shipped individually, then we would have extra shipping if I'm not shipping with auction stuff, bud. So if we're going to need to be shipped separately, then if you just wanted two of them, it's probably going to be about another $8 to ship them, probably. Just guessing, but somewhere right in that vicinity. If we were just shipping those by himself. Eric said that was just pure luck. So yeah, even Alex says great win, Eric. Yeah, that's kind of what you're up against on some of these, that's for sure. Doug's here. Alec was after that set of flags. Yeah, that's kind of some neat stuff. So how about some Mopar stuff? Anybody like Dodge trucks? Let's do some Dodge truck badges. How about a Hudson badge? We'll start off with, and it's kind of crazy to think, you say this is newer, it's a plastic one for the Ram 1500, but that's like stuff from the mid 90s. That stuff's almost 30 years old. Thing looks great. And it is 11 3/4 by 1.5 inches. Nice condition. These are flat double-sided tape mount. You can put them anywhere. This one has great chrome and is really in pretty great shape. Now we're going to back way up for the piece that's going to go with it, though. Mark starting us off at 20. This is a 39 to 47 era. I actually think they maybe used this up into the early 50s. 39 to 47 used these. And I think up to 51 or 52 used these. This is a Pop Metal Dodge side hood badge. I know 39 to 47 Dodge trucks use these. It is 8 inches long by 1.25 inches high. This is an original Pop Metal emblem. You see the chrome on this thing is amazing. It is flat. You can pretty much mount it anywhere. It is original studs, original nuts. Nice piece. Has some ridges down here along the bottom. Great chrome. Few pits in it, but a cool piece. So mark at 20 on the pair of Dodge truck emblems. One, seems like it's new, but it's 25 years old. And this one's definitely old because this is 40s era. Maybe 50, 51, 52, but that's about as new as they use this badge. So, and it looks great considering it's at least 70 years old. Let's kick this thing off on the timer. Mark at 20 on the Dodge truck badges. And we're rolling, ticking along here. Got my notes caught up. Mark at 20. Everybody's sitting there pretty quiet. This isn't that extremely rare. It's just really nice. This is a pretty tough piece to find. So let's see what you guys think. Mark at 20 as we come up towards that 1 minute mark. And 1 minute has now passed. We're on the back side of this one. So everybody's sitting here really quiet. Really quiet. That or there's 27 bids in there and the system isn't feeding them to me. You never know. And we're coming up on that minute 20 mark. A minute 20 has passed. Mark at $20. A minute 30 has passed. $20 seconds left. Nothing popping up. This is weird. David W. at 22. Pete at 41. Pete at 41 is the high bidder. And that does it. Jason was at 43. There were 4 bids in the last 8 seconds. One came in after that. But Pete at 41 is the one that was high bidder in time. Jason was 43, but it was right after the 2 minute mark. So, yep, it pretty much was rapid fire bids at the end. Sniper slugfest. Yeah, that's one way to put it. That's for sure. Everybody went to fully automatic sniper. Yeah, that's true too. That's a good way to put it. Let's sell something we've never sold on here before. Something totally different. We've never sold one. Never held one up in front of you guys. Never sold you one. Let's check this one out. Let's sell it to one of you guys. I've got a few different ones in my collection. I don't have this particular one, but I've got some like it. No, we're not going to sell Gray Kitty. You want to sell? Should we sell you because you're a pain in the butt? Sitting on the corner of the desk. So, they used one similar to that on the nose of the Power Wagon Ozark Fox, but it's bigger. It is a similar font, but it is bigger. Now, the next piece we're going to hold up, we're going to sell to you guys something kind of different that is definitely car related and definitely cool and something you see occasionally, but not every day pop up. A drive-in movie theater speaker. How about that thing? Pioneer Drive-In Theater is what it says on the front. Drive-In Theater Manufacturing Company, Kansas City, Missouri. Has the hook on it. The wire's been cut. Who knows if it works anyway. X-Ray Dean at 30. Randy at 40. Alex thinks we should sell you too. But The case looks good. The buttons here, it doesn't, it's stuck. The case isn't busted up. It was originally white and teal kind of. The hook isn't busted. Still, I mean, in pretty decent shape. So, Randy at 40. Let's kick this thing off on the timer. I need to give you some dimensions on it actually. But I'd already hit the timer. So we are live on this thing. Randy at 40. This thing is 7 5/8 by about 4 3/4. It's about 7 5/8 by about 4 3/4. Pretty decent shape as far as the casing. But like I said, cool piece. That's right, Alec. It is interesting. Let's see. Randy at 45. Excuse me, as my high bidder. X-Ray was in there at 41. I got Randy at 45. Mark's got to drive in near him if he wanted one. But they probably wouldn't appreciate you going there and chopping one off. So Jason used to have the stand and speakers that were hooked to a stereo. Randy at 45. As 1 minute has passed, Randy at 45. Window hook, kind of a different piece. Randy at 45. 120 has now passed. One minute, 30 seconds has now passed. We're on the backside of this. If you're going to jump in, now's the time to be thinking about it. I've got Randy at 45. 20 seconds left. Big Job at 60. 10 seconds left to go. I've got Big Job at 60. Zach at 61. And that does it. Zach at 61. Randy came back at 61 after Zach, and then Big Job was at 65, but it was too late. I had Zach at 61 when we hit the 2-minute mark. Alex seen somebody at a car show that had the whole setup, had one hanging off the car with the food, with the tray and everything. Let's do a couple more cool emblems. One of these is a newer one, but one of them is super cool. This is an Oldsmobile badge bundle. Starting off with a basic script. This is a newer script. This is plastic, but once again, probably, there again, I say newer. It's 80s, so it's 40-some years old with great chrome on it. It is flat mount, double-sided tape. Nice Oldsmobile script for an Oldsmobile guy. 5 1/4 inches long. Now, the super cool piece of this is what I really dig. The 1958 grill badge. Check this thing out. Six inches from peak to peak. And 2 3/4. X-Ray's kicking us off at 25. This is stud mount. Has studs on the back of it. Pretty cool piece. Like I said, I'm going to throw the script in with it. This is the cool piece. We're throwing a script in with it to go along with the Oldsmobile badge bundle. Let's get this thing on the timer. I do not have any 3-deuce setups for a 348 Chevy Weston. It does look like a Night Shield bill, that's for sure. X-Ray at 25 on the Oldsmobile badge bundle. Bill Disc at 34. Mark at 40. Got Mark at 40 as we are ticking away, working up towards that 1 minute mark. And 1 minute has now passed. Mark at 40 is my high bidder. We're going to weigh up almost to the minute 20, and a minute 20 has now passed. Reno at 45. Minute 30 has passed. Reno at 45 is my high bidder. If you're going to jump on this one, now is the time for your max bid. Depending on your delay, we're going to be just about done by the time you see this. Reno at 45 with 20 seconds left to go. Coming down to the wire, just about done. Reno at 45. And that does it. Reno at 45. Get these taped back together so I don't lose anything. So keep the bundle straight. And let's get out another old license plate. Now, like we just talked about, I was on the road last week, went down through Oklahoma, and picked up a few pieces. Obviously, I haven't even started to unload the truck. I grabbed a couple pieces that were close to the top to get rolling with tonight. And I ended up with a couple of early Oklahoma license plates. So I thought we'll see if you guys like to mix up the license plate thing a little bit, since primarily what I come up with is Kansas. Had the opportunity to pick up a couple of early Oklahomas. Thought we'd try those, see what you guys think of those. Going all the way back to 1928. Now, this side is obviously pretty much gone. I don't know if this got hot, if it was on something on a fire or something, because not much left on this side. This side looks pretty decent. Bent up a little bit, not terribly. Back's kind of the same way. 1928 Oklahoma, obviously it was originally yellow with black lettering on the 1928 Oklahoma license plate. This is kind of a different size than what I'm used to with a lot of this Kansas stuff. Almost 15 by 5 3/8. So this is almost 15 inches by 5 3/8. It obviously, like I said, this end it didn't really affect the metal, but the finish is gone here. You can see the embossing on the back is still clear. 424 T788. I have zero idea what any of that means, but like I said, it's kind of a different piece. Alex started us off at 15. I know you guys like early plates, and I didn't find much, but I found a few. Thought we'd start off with this 1928 Oklahoma tonight and see what you guys think of them. Alec at 15 is my high bidder. Let's get this thing on the timer. Eric at 20. John at 25. As we're ticking along. Like I said, something kind of different, but it is early. So, almost, 94 years old now. So, yeah, I guess it's got a reason to have a little wear and tear on it. It's 94 years old. John at 25. As we come up on the 1 minute mark, John at 25. 1 minute has now passed. John at 25 is the high bidder. We're coming up on the minute 20 mark. Minute 20 has now passed. We get to that minute 30 mark. If you're going to jump in on this thing, be thinking about it. This early ones don't pop up that often. Minute 30 has passed. Eric at 28. A minute 30 has now passed. Eric at 28. 20 seconds left to go. Eric at 28. 15. John at 30. Alec at 32. I've got Alec at 32 on Facebook. 10 seconds left. David W. 43. 43 with David W. is my high bidder. And that will do it. And John came back and Eric came back, but all just a few seconds too late. David W. at 43 was who we had when we hit that 2 minute mark. All right, we got kind of a statement piece here next. I know you guys like old trucks, and this is definitely a statement badge. For the late 40s, early 50s era GMC. This is the one that went right up on the front of the truck, right above the grill. These were available in chrome or painted. This is an original painted one. Kenny started us off at 25. We're not messing around on this one. We haven't even started looking at it yet. Yes, Gray Kitty, can I help you? Can I have my tape measure? Jason at 50. Let me give you some dimensions on this thing. Holy cow. And Leo's just like, oh my goodness. This is not perfectly flat. It does have a little curve to it because it does mount on the front curved part of the truck. Now, if I run the tape straight without the curvature, I'm at about 15 and a half on length. Jason at 50 is my high bidder. It is 3 1/4 high. So 15 and 3/8, 3 1/4, 15 3/8 long, big, in your face. You could paint this thing basically any color you wanted. It is pot metal. It's not all pitted up. There are no chips, no breaks. The back is all original and clean. And I've got Jason at 50. So let's get this thing on the timer. Jason at 50 is my high bidder. We are live. And we're ticking along, and I got a cat in my way again, which shocks no one. Yes. Right, dum-dum? Can I help you? This is late 40s, early 50s, Kenny, like 48 to 53. Right up on the front of the truck. Some of them were chrome, some of them were painted. You can paint this thing any color you wanted, and I think there's a, if you guys can make it out, there's a striped area in here. Usually that insert was red typically. But I've got Jason at 50 as of right now. As we come up on the 1 minute mark, holy cow, Kevin, that's a lot of swords on that. Those are a lot of sword emojis. Jason at 50. Everybody, I don't know if everybody, if you're going to walk away with this or everybody's just kind of sitting there on their thumbs. And 1 minute, 30 seconds has now passed. Jason at 50. 20 seconds left. 20 seconds is all we've got left. Jason's still sitting there at 50. Reno at 51. Reno at 51. 10 left to go. Pete at 71. Got Pete at 71. This thing's just about ready to wrap it up. Where are we going to go? Where are we going to go? Kenny at 81. And that does it. Kenny at 81 right there at the last second. Kenny snuck that one in at 81. That's a cool piece, too. You killed Kenny. Another hubcap. We haven't done a hubcap in a little bit. Let's squeeze in another hubcap. I'm going to go ahead and give you a fair warning. Sunglasses time. This thing might blind some people. Another Oldsmobile. We just sold the Oldsmobile badges. How about an Oldsmobile hubcap? Yeah, look at that. You can see everything in that cap. Might be able to read your comments in this cap. I can see the comments right here. I don't know if you guys can make them out. But yeah, I can see Tweet the D's just kicking us off at 25. We're not even messing around on this thing. Obviously, we've still got some of the gold left here. The red background out of here is faded out. A few dings and dents in this thing. That's right, Addy. Addy caught the South Park reference like that. Eric at 40 is our high bidder at this point. We haven't even done checking it out. A few dings and dents in it, a little scrape over here. Obviously, bright chrome. Back of it's nice and clean. Good looking cap. Great display piece. Outside diameter is about 10 3/8. So about 10 3/8 OD on this cap. It's got some ridges on the side of it. Big Job needs a welder helmet to watch this thing. Eric at 40 is my high bidder. Let's go ahead and get this thing kicked off on the timer. And we're taking along with Eric at 40. Actually, Kenny, I think that was Kyle's mom. I think it's who they're talking about on that one. I don't think I've heard Cartman's rendition of Sailing Away, but it sounds like it is worth looking up. Yeah, you see the Dodge jacket right up there. There's the Pontiac painting. Fireball Roberts at the Daytona 500. 1 minute has passed. Eric at 40. Flash burns, yeah. One minute 20 has passed. Eric at 40 is my high bidder. Cat, you're kind of in the way again, shockingly. 1 minute 30 seconds has passed. Kind of be thinking about your max bid as we're ticking down on this thing. Reno at 43. 20 seconds left to go. Zach had to turn down the brightness on his phone. Reno at 43. 10 seconds left. And that does it. Reno at 43. Addy even loves Kyle's mom's song. That actually is a pretty funny song. Not exactly politically correct, but extremely funny. So All right. Now, we did some of these last week. We're going to do one more batch of it. Of the GMC truck postcards. Remember, we did a batch of these. We're going to do 3 more. The rest of them I'm keeping, but I'm going to throw another batch out for you guys. Screw you guys. I'm going home. Exactly, Jason. On the GMC truck postcards, we'll start off with the GMC Diesel Tractor 900 series going across the big bridge with that big truck. And we've got a dump truck. Tweedledee D starting us off at 10 on these things. On the GMC medium-duty four-wheeler on the dump truck. Good coloring on that one as well. Bright blue truck. X-ray at 15. And one more, the GMC panel. Cool postcard. This one's got a bend in it on the GMC panel truck. These are all late 40s, early 50s. If you look real close at the front of that truck, something looks pretty familiar with what we just sold with that emblem right there. And let's see, I got all kinds of stuff going on here on the GMC postcards. Let's see, Tim at 29 is my high bidder. Let's get this on the timer. Tim at 29. Let's see. Tim at 29 is my high bidder. Oh, you got that one upside down. We don't want to do that. Yeah, these are neat pieces. Like I said, I'm keeping the rest of them. I sold off the duplicates right away. I went back through them again. I thought I'm going to share a few more of them. The rest of them I'm going to keep. But Tim at 29 as of right now on the GMC postcards. One minute has now passed. Tim at 29. How many did I get? I don't know how many there were total, but I sold this 9 of them that I've sold, and I've still got at least that many more, probably a dozen more. Minute 20 has now passed, almost to the minute 30 mark. 1 minute, 30 seconds has now passed. We did them on Toy Tuesday a while back, Pete. Tim at 29 is my high bidder. All 3, 1 bid, 1 money. You get all 3 postcards. 20 seconds left to go. 15. Mark at 31. Just about ready to wrap this one up. Mark at 31 is my high bidder. Tim at 32, right at the end. Holy cow. Tim couldn't have cut that one much closer. That was, whew. You didn't have no breathing room on that one, Tim, but you got him in there, so. All right. I promised you guys a one piece from Auburn Core Duesenberg tonight. So we're going to throw this one up there. This is a little bit rough. I got a couple of these, but I'm going to sell one of these tonight. This is an original Auburn piece. So we'll see what you guys think of it. It is the ornament or the badge off of a knockoff. Off of an Auburn. I don't know exactly what Auburn, but it's a cool piece. Like I said, I've got a couple of these. I need to go through and see. I don't even know if I've got one. I may need to keep one for me, but I know I'm going to sell this one because I know I got a couple of them while I was there last week on this Auburn badge. It's kind of like this Auburn badge, only different. So this one's got dings and dents, but it's, got to be 90 years old. So it's can have a little bit of wear to it. It is pretty flat. Tweedledee D starting us off at 25. It does have dings, dents, scuffs, scratches, things like that in it. We can see this one little hole's torn out. The other two holes are intact. X-ray at 28. It is about 3 inches in diameter. Alec at 30 on Facebook. So this is an original. It is off of a wheel knockoff, but it's a neat piece. How old? Late 20s, early 30s. So something, yeah, that's right, David W. Not something you're going to see every day. Let's get it on the timer. I've got Alec at 30. Tweedledee at 36. Nope, you do not see Auburn stuff very often at all. Like I said, I've got 6 or 8 things that I bought. Some of the stuff I had already had in my collection. There was some stuff I just bought a duplicate of. But the stuff that I got, there's a little bit on the shelf, but man, it is getting awful thin. And like I said, I didn't have time to really go through the box, and I don't want to sell any of it till I compare it to what I've already got. But I know I got a couple of these the other day, so I know I can keep at least one if I don't have one. So I'll throw one up tonight. It's just so you guys know we're back into some Auburn Cord Duesenberg stuff. 1 minute has now passed. Tweedledee at 36 is my high bidder. Exclusive deals at Nobody's. Yep, that's right. So we'll see what, like I said, there are some pieces I got to, like I just didn't have time to sort through everything tonight, but we've got some epic pieces coming from Auburn Cord Duesenberg. Minute 20 has now passed. Like I said, I spent a lot of money on some of that stuff, so I hope it all works out. Tweedledee at 36, 1 minute, 30 seconds has now passed. Be thinking about your max bids. We're coming down to the wire on this thing. Eric, or Tweedledee at 36 is my high bidder, excuse me. 20 seconds left, nothing coming in. I don't know what's going to happen. Maybe he's going to steal this one at 36. That'd be a pretty cool buy for 36 bucks. 15 seconds to go. 10. Eric at 42. Eric at 42 is my high bidder. I got a bunch of bids coming in. Eric at 42 is high. And that does it. Eric at 42. I had David W. and Alec at 38, Jason at 42, but Eric at 42 was first. So we're going to mark that to him. Cool piece. We'll just give you another Auburn badge just in honor of that. Chevy truck emblems. Badge bundle of Chevy truck emblems. Super cool Chevy truck emblems coming up next. If I can get them on tape. Starting off with the 1953-1954 3100 badge. Off a half-ton pickup, the side of the hood. This one, 8 3/8 by 1 3/4 inch, flat stud mount, few pits, nice chrome on the 3100. We've also got an Apache 10. We've done a few of these in the past. This thing is beautiful. Bright chrome on this one as well. Side hood badge for a 61 Apache 10. Flat emblem, stud mount, pop metal. And it is 8 inches by 1 3/8 inch. So we've got these two, as well as one of these 29, 30, 31 era Chevy badges. This one's kind of rough, so I'm kind of throwing it in with this bundle because it's kind of chipped up. It's bent a little bit. This was a press button on the back like a lot of these are. All 3 of them, one money on the Chevy truck badge bundle. This is all earlier stuff. Big Job at 20, Mark at 30. All 3 pieces, one money. Let's kick it off on the timer. Mark at 30 is my high bidder. Lots of bids coming in, but Mark at 30 is my high bidder. Shopcat is back. X-Ray at 32. Mark at 40. Johnny Z at 45. Mark at 50. Where are you at, Gray Kitty? Just being in the way. You got that down, Pat. Mark at 50. As we're working away towards that 1 minute mark. And 1 minute has now passed. I've got Mark at 50 on the whole bundle. And a minute 20 has now passed. Coming up on that minute 30 mark, be thinking about those max bids if you're going to try to jump in on these. All three pieces, one money, cool bundle. Mark at 50 is my high bidder at this point. $20 seconds left to go. Mark at 50. $10. Eric at 52, and that does it. Eric, that was about as tight as that last one you did, Eric. Eric at 52, right at the last 2 seconds. All right. Couple more things. I got a hubcap, a license plate, and one more badge bundle. So let's get this stuff knocked out. Let's get into the magazine. And you're in my way, Gray Kitty. Where's our Ford fans at? Big Job's on with us. This is kind of a cool Ford piece. Hudson badge. This is, I think, all original paint, 60s era Ford pickup cap. Check this thing out. It's painted. It's not a chrome cap. It appears to be all original. The paint and finish and everything looks original. You can see the scuffs, the scratches, but man, it looks cool for its age. Back's even nice and clean. Let's give you some dimensions on this thing. OD on this is about 10 3/4. Leo's needs 4 of these. Let's see. Alec at 35 on the Ford cap. Alec at 35 is our starter on this. Like I said, it's really a pretty decent looking cap. Pretty cool. Like I said, I think all the paint's original. Just a nice, clean, cool looking. Like I said, I think it's mid 60s, so it's 50 some years old, still looks great. So Alec at 35 on this one. Shopcat says 61 to 63 is what he's thinking. So somewhere in that vicinity. Cool piece. Let's kick it off on the timer. Bud loved the 90 Chevy Crew Cab. Yeah, that's a cool truck. Alec at 35. It does kind of look like a big bottle cap, Johnny Z. That's a good point. Mark at 40. Highlander loves it. Like I said, it's just got a great look to it. And I don't think it's been restored. I think it's just a clean original cap. Mark at 40. Shopcat needs 5 caps and 4 wheels. Mark at 40. We're coming up on the 1 minute mark on the Ford cap. 1 minute has now passed. Ozark Fox said his unibody had those, so right in that same window, 61, 62. Mark at 40. A minute 20 has now passed. Coming up on that minute 30 mark when you need to be thinking about if you're going to jump in on this thing because it's a cool looking piece. Minute 30 has now passed. Mark at 40. Great looking cap for $40, that's for sure. 20 seconds left. Big job at 47. 10 seconds left. Big job at 47 is the high bidder. There's been a mark at 50. And that does it. Mark at 50. Big job came back. Eric came back. All just a little bit too late. Mark at 50 on that one. One more badge bundle. Mopar time. One more badge bundle. One early license plate. And then we're going to get on with the magazine. Nice Mopar badge bundle coming up. Starting off with a Plymouth script. Just a basic, nice, clean Plymouth script. This is a metal one. Flat, stud mount, pop metal, nice bright chrome. And it is 9 inches, almost 9 inches long on the Plymouth script. The next one is a little, this thing is cool. This is a little Plymouth hood ornament, and it actually has the engine on it, 318, on the back side. So this was, it has kind of a taper to it. It is stud mount. It is pop metal. Has the 318 on it that you could see like from inside the car, supposedly. Nice chrome. It's not broken. It's not chipped. Pretty cool piece. Big Jobs at 13. We've had some bids coming in already. Big Jobs at 13. The last one is a 2-piece emblem. So there will be 4 pieces, but 2 of these go together on the Fury 3. This thing looks great as well. It is used because I can see where it had the plastic barrel nuts on it. But condition-wise, chrome-wise, finish-wise, this Fury 3 is great. Tweedledee at 25 is my current high bidder. Let's get these on the timer and get this thing ticking along. All 4 pieces, one money. The hood ornament thing is kind of cool. All of them, one-shot deal, all one money. High bidder gets all of it. Mark at 30 on the Plymouth badge bundle. Ticking along, 4 pieces, basically 3 separate emblems, all one deal. Mark at 30 is my current high bidder. And 1 minute has now passed. Mark at 30. These are all nice. These are all metal. So they're all, none of these are plastic. This is all original pop metal, original chrome. Nice, cool pieces. Mark at 30. Minute 20 has now passed. Mark at 30. Nobody else jumping in on these. A lot of action right out of the gate, and then it kind of sat flat. As we hit the minute 30 mark, 30 seconds left to go on these things. Time to be jumping in if you're going to get in on the Plymouth Badge bundle. Eric at 32. 20 seconds left to go. $10. Eric at 32. Bill Disc at 35. Bill Disc at 35 is the high bidder. David W. at 43, and that does it. Jason came in at 50, just a hair too late. I had David W. at 30 when I hit 200. So we've got David W. on the Plymouth Badge bundle. I can get these things all taped back together so I don't lose anything. All right. One more thing. Let's do one more license plate, and then let's keep on moving tonight. This is a great looking plate. Backing up a few years. Auburn badge. 86 years to a Kansas 1936. This thing looks freaking great. This was an orange plate, black letters. Does have a little fading in the color. But, man, I mean, this thing, look how flat this thing is. Every tag we see has got a little bit of whoop-de-doo to it. This thing is clean and straight. Eric at 40 on the Kansas plate, 36, 41-2643, 1936. Mark at 55. It is 14.5 by 4 3/8. This is one of the narrower plates, but it's a great looking tag. Kansas, 1936. I think all these holes appear to be factory. None of these appear to be added to it. That's right, Leo. That's a good point. You'll run a little light oil to it. That will bring a lot of that color back. But it's a great looking piece. Mark at 55 on the Kansas plate. Back of it, about the same. A little bit of discoloration. A little bit of whoop-de-doo right there on that edge. In fact, it's this edge right here bent just a little bit. But, man, that's a pretty nice tag for being 86 years old. So, Mark at 55. Let's get this thing on the timer. Let's get Boogie in here. Have not talked to Norman in a couple weeks, Shop Cat. Liquid gold will bring it back. That could be true, Randy. That would definitely help. Like I said, tonight I was just trying to get stuff ready today. So a lot of stuff I should have prepared a little bit better, just never got that far. Mark at 55 on the super cool 1936 Kansas plate. As we're coming up on that 1 minute mark, 1 minute left to go. 1 minute left to go in tonight's last auction. That's right, true, Zach. The dust makes it worth more. Mark at 55. Great looking plate for that money. Mike Barger says Clay County. Could be. These holes, they look factory. I mean, I know there seems to be extra holes, but none of them look hacked or botched. And I'm wondering if, some cars had, different plate mounts that had a smaller plate mount. I don't know. But they look factory. 1 minute, 30 seconds has now passed. On the back side of this thing, mark at 55, 30 seconds left. Time to jump in if you're going to. 20 seconds left, mark at 55. 10. Kenny at 56. David at 80. And that does it. David W. at 80. Several bits. Kenny and John all came in at the end, but David W. at 80 was what we had when we hit the 2-minute mark. So, cool piece. Thanks for playing tonight, everybody. Had a great time on auctions. You guys are all great sports, and that's what makes this a lot of fun. So, let's keep on moving into the magazine for tonight. Can I have the magazine, Gray Kitty? Gray Kitty. Can I have the magazine? Can I have the magazine, Gray Kitty? Now, thanks. I mean, you guys are thanking me. You guys are what made this all work. We had a lot of fun with it. We do every week, and that's what makes it great. So thanks to all you guys for participating. I have fun doing it. Like some of the stuff I go and when I buy it intentionally for the auction, it doesn't always make a lot of money. Sometimes some stuff makes some money. A lot of the stuff I buy to bring in here, but that's what we're having fun with. So. All right. Can I have the magazine, Gray Kitty? Yeah, Randy, no, she's not reading it. She's just sitting on it. You're going to have to move because everybody wants to see the magazine. You don't care. Well, you're moving anyway. Up, 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 up. I need the magazine. There, finally. Sorry to have disturbed you. Yeah, we talked about her a little bit ago. She's starting to put a little bit of weight on. She's not complete skin and bones now like she was last week, but she's getting a little better. She's gotten her sassiness came back immediately. So, yes, your sassiness came back immediately. Mark did get some magazines he was bidding on. That's cool. And tonight, that's what we're going to talk about. One of the magazines from the viewer box a couple weeks ago, Modern Rod from February of 1965 with the 500-mile-per-hour dragsters headline and this spaceship-looking type car on the front. As always, as we've started doing here a few months ago, we're going to split this up. We're going to cover the first half tonight so that we don't end up going all night on a magazine. So, but there again, we're getting a lot more out of it because these old magazines have so much cool stuff in it, and trying to squeeze them all into one episode, one Sunday night, we were missing so much stuff. I'm glad you guys decided to split this thing up. Makes it a lot easier on all of us, and we all get so much more out of it. Let's go ahead and open this thing up, check out what's going on. In February of 1965 with a cover price of 50 cents. Now, the first little segment, the MR News or MR Views, the Modern Rod Views, this little segment, kind of some little tidbits of information. What night is the raffle? I think we decided on the 27th, 2 weeks from now. I'd have to pull my notes out. I didn't mark it on the calendar. Shopcat can almost smell the old magazine smell. Yep, that's true. In the Modern Rod Views, some of the interesting bits and pieces. There is one little picture that we're going to look at, though. Need a tow or a push car? Want to impress the other guys and show a little class at the drags? Then get yourself a Cadillac Wagon DeVille. It's available on a custom order basis, built on a Cadillac Sedan DeVille body. The car features an electrically operated sunroof, 6-way seat, and other unusual goodies found on a Cadillac. Costs only $14,950, but there's one problem. You'll have to wait 65 to 75 days for a delivery. Yes, you could order a new Cadillac station wagon. Obviously a conversion. See it right there, a little tiny picture of it. As always, most everything is in black and white in these early magazines, but I thought that was pretty cool, worth checking out. Okay, weekend after Thanksgiving is what Tim said. That would be the 27th. So that's what I was thinking we had decided. I just didn't have my notes right in front of me. I didn't write it on the calendar. I had it on my sheets, so I'll write it down now. All right. Thanks, Tim. Appreciate that. Actually, Mark, no, this was not a hearse. This was a custom built. It was a coach car, probably built by the same coach builders that built the hearse, but this was a Wagon DeVille, and you could order it as a Wagon DeVille. Does not say who did the conversion in this little blurb. Wonder how many got made? Probably not very many at 15 grand in 65. So I think a new Corvette was like 5 grand. So just to put it into perspective. What else was in there? They had the average horsepower ratings of 65 models. Had a little chart over here. Average horsepower for the 1965 models. The Riviera was the highest average horsepower at 350 horse. Yep, similar to a flower car. That is true, Randy. Like I said, I bet it was the same coach builder that did hearses, ambulances, and flower cars. They just called it a wagon and made it commercially available as well. Another tidbit in the modern rod views for this month, Plymouth is now producing a drag racing engine, which incorporates a host of improvements for increased performance over the 64 edition of the 426 Hemi Super Commando engine. Special refinements include an intake manifold lightened by cast magnesium, lighter cast aluminum cylinder heads with new intake ports, increased chrome plating on valve stems to reduce valve guide wear, new cam with longer duration, stronger valve springs. It also features an aluminum oil pump body and covered notch piston domes to minimize the chance of their being hit by the valve head at high engine speeds. All kinds of cool stuff. Even has a little picture of the race Hemi coming out for 1965. Oh, Mark was being sarcastic. It's called a hearse. Yeah, like I said, I bet it was the same coach builder that did the hearses. Big job. Steve Barton had one of McGuire's 2 years ago. The guy that helped build it sold him a Bronco body. Was that car I'm not familiar with. No, big job. I'm not familiar with that car. And that's right, Tim. That's another good point. 15 grand would buy you a house, I think, at that point. So I think you're right, just to put it in perspective. One more tidbit. There's obviously a bunch of tidbits in here, but I'm kind of just picking a few of them out. Shopcat wants the number to order one of those race Hemis. Yeah. But also in dealing with that, or a gray cat, do you realize you just sat right in the middle of the magazine where I'm trying to read the magazine, Gray Kitty? Hey. Mark says that is what his parents' house cost back then. So you were right, Tim. I'll give you an Auburn badge while we try to get back to the magazine. Technical difficulties because I can't read the magazine. There we go. In the NASCAR Chrysler hassle. Remember, this is February of 1965. Obviously, the Hemi came out in Daytona in 64 and pretty much started mopping up NASCAR. In February of 1965, this is what they printed in the NASCAR Chrysler hassle, which by the time you're reading this may be solved by NASCAR, rightfully putting off for another year the ban on Hemi engines. Modern Rod is decidedly in favor of Chrysler's position. How unfair and arbitrary can you get into outlawing an engine a few months before the new season without any prior warning? This is our main criticism, but we also feel that outlawing in itself is not accomplishing the avowed purpose, and we can't help wondering what the real reason is behind a rule change made without reasonable advance warning. As most of you probably remember, the Hemi was banned in NASCAR in that window. And they bring up a good point. We were wondering what the real reason is behind a rule change made without reasonable advance warning. So there was some shady things going on probably to get that Hemi banned, but they mopped everybody up, and there was probably a lot of heat from the other manufacturers because they couldn't play ball with it, I'm guessing. So Let's see. Zach, payment's been sent, including extra for Norman's care package. Perfect. Zach signing off. Got a lot of work to do tomorrow. So that's right, Randy. She did. I took her spot. In her mind, we took her spot. So, yep, she does want to read it tonight. Leo wants a great case. Why do everyone want stickers of you, dummy? That's right, Zach. Until next week, we'll see you then. Appreciate you being on tonight. Bill Disc has to jump off. Glad you made it too. Let's keep on working through the magazine and check out a few more cool things. Bill Disc starting a new job tomorrow. Congratulations on that. Hope it works out well for you. The next article we're going to look at, and there's a ton of cool pictures here. They're all black and white. Those are with no Hemis. The Galaxy's kick butt. The most successful driver in American history, A.J. Foyt. And I didn't know this, but A.J. Foyt's actual full name is Anthony Joseph Foyt. A lot of great pictures because obviously we all know A.J. Foyt drove anything with wheels. So let's check out some of the cool pictures in this article. From the Indy cars to the stock car. Yes, we're talking about A.J. Foyt, not you. More great pictures with midget cars. Bill's going to try to swing by Tuesday night. Great. Glad you may. Hope you make it Tuesday night. And even more great pictures. So, like I said, we can get into the text and get into a lot of details. We'd still be around. Is he still around? I think he is, Jeff. I think he's still alive. I'm not 100% sure on that. But like I said, there again, most of these articles, we could get into them and go all the way down that rabbit hole. But just the pictures just really told the whole story of everything that guy drove. If it had four wheels on it, he'd drive it. Let's jump forward another page here to a super cool little car, drag car, the Whelen BFA, the Whelen B fuel altered, called Monkey Motion. This is great, and even had color pictures of the Monkey Motion B fuel altered. Pretty wild looking little car, like a lot of these drag cars we look at from the 60s. You really wonder what these guys were thinking when they strapped themselves into these things. We look at the roll cage in this thing, not exactly super high tech. Chopcat says he is still alive. He's around 85, he thinks. Small block Chevy packing a huffer. Not a lot to that thing. Not a ton of safety equipment. He just stood on the loud pedal and hung on. Alex digging it. And I'll hold these next couple pages up for a few seconds here, because there's a lot of great detail shots on here. I hope you guys can see some of this stuff, take some of this stuff in, but just not if this thing went over, there just isn't much there, period. Cool looking car, but I said, I don't know if I want to really stand on the loud pedal on it. Alex said he built a model of something really similar to this when he was younger. Yeah, this stuff was pretty wild. And you look at it, it's got the roll bar. When you look at this side shot, there's no sidebars. Your hands are right here. There's just nothing at all right there. Scott says A.J. Foyt will be 88 in January. Now, the cover car actually was not a complete car. Ford's Maxima Designed to operate up to speeds of 500 miles an hour. Now, the cover car was just a design study. This was just a model. I don't think there was ever a full-size car built of this. Maxima is still in prototype stage, but will be valuable for testing components at extremely high speeds. Let's see. Number one, missed the beginning. Go back, start over later. Solid mount block to the frame fun. Yeah. Roll bar just thinking. Yeah, that's right, Shopcat. Roll bar thinking roll it back over easier. Ozark Fox, those guys had hair. So when arm restraints were thought up, that's for sure. Firewall is about as bright as the hubcap sold tonight. Yeah. Tim says, as long as you don't wreck anything over 25 miles an hour, you're good. But Ford's Maxima, a design study, even though the cover, it almost looked like a whole car, it was actually just a model that they were working on to test things with. Now, the last couple articles we're going to check out, like I said, since we're doing half this magazine, super, super cool. I got pretty excited about it when I seen it. Just from what you think about it, what you remember. Yeah, that was a three-wheeler, actually. Yeah, you can see real clearly in that shot, it was just a three-wheeler. That's a badge. It does kind of look like a lawn dart. That's true, Ozark. But the last couple of articles we're going to check out before we get into some ads to kind of get to the halfway point of this magazine. And I get this thing, and I don't know, I just kind of geek out about this. I don't know a lot about it. However, there is some stuff that I'm going to try to find now that I did learn some things from this magazine tonight about this particular topic. And one reason it kind of stands out to me in the 60s when it comes to land speed racing, this guy's name stood out even to the point where the Beach Boys did a song about this car. So I'm sure a lot of you probably remember that. I mean, obviously, land speed in the 60s, the Beach Boys. A lot of you guys have probably figured out what we're talking about next. Let's see. Yes, I'm sure a lot of you know the Spirit of America, driven by Craig Breedlove. Absolutely beautiful car. Crazy fast, 500 miles an hour, jet powered. I actually put it into a lake at the end of Bonneville one time. Yes, the Beach Boys did do a song called Spirit of America. If you have not heard it, you've got to look it up, YouTube it. I mean, I remember listening to that on Beach Boys albums when I was a kid because I was listening to the car songs. So Craig Breedlove, the Spirit of America, land speed racing, and just, I mean, a beautiful, beautiful car. Even got a color picture in this issue of the magazine. And the next article was also land speed. World land speed record the hard way. Also at 500 plus miles an hour. And this thing is craziness. We've talked a little bit about this guy in the past. We've seen him in some drag cars. In fact, we've seen him a couple weeks ago in some drag racing articles. Commonly known for using V12 Allison power, even in drag cars. They ran out of salt at Bonneville. Yeah, there was actually, they did put the Spirit of America in a lake one time because they literally ran out of salt at Bonneville. You can look it up. It shows like the nose of the car and the lake were just that big fin sticking up. I think the parachute broke or something, or blew off or something like that. I think the parachute blew off when it hit or something, and they just couldn't shut the car down. It didn't completely submerge the whole thing, but it like tipped the nose down into the lake. So, but a 34-year-old father and a bunch of guys use ingenuity to demolish a record. Car went 571 miles an hour at Bonneville. Art Arfons and the Green Monster. This thing is wild. Check this thing out. Do any of those cars exist or does the salt eat them away? I don't know. I don't know if Spirit of America or this Green Monster, if any of these do exist or not. Shopcat, how far do they usually have at Bonneville? Course is 5 miles. Number one is usually 10, I think. I ain't been out there in 10 or 11 years. But I think lane one is typically close to 10 miles. But I think mile 5 is where they clock you at, though, if I remember correctly. Like I said, it's been 10 or 11 years since I've been there. But I think your speed is your average going into 5 and out of 5, if I remember correctly. But like I said, that's been quite a few years back. But I think your average, they take going into 5 and coming out of 5, and that's where they get your average at. How do you shoulder check that thing? I don't know, because it would be kind of tricky getting in there. Pete loves this thing. Yep. Running out of room in 10 miles. Yeah, that happens. Scott says Breedlove's car used to be at the Chicago Museum. Not sure where it's at now. So I'm sure it's out there. If it was in a museum a few years back, I'm sure it's still out there. Mark remembers the Green Monster. Randy, 5 times, 5 shutdown on lane 1. So 5 miles of shutdown on lane 1. So that's exactly what I was thinking. Lane 1 would be 10 miles. So thanks, Randy. Thanks for backing that up for me. That's two-way average at 5 miles. I think it's in and out at 5. I think it's end of mile 5 and out the back door. Out the back door at 5, then 5 of shutdown on lane 1. So thanks, Randy. I don't feel as bad now. I did remember at least that much. So. But some more great pictures of the Green Monster as well. This thing is super cool. And then we are going to get into a little bit of the details about the Green Monster after you guys have a minute to check this thing out. And monster is a pretty accurate term. Big job's digging it so far. Yeah, we're getting ready to get into the ads. So let's get a few specifics on the Green Monster. Bus wheels and tires? I don't think so. I don't remember. The tires were specially built for it. It's 21 feet long. It actually has a cockpit on each side, but the tires were specifically built. Arfons and his small crew built 6,500-pound missile, body and all. Its General Electric J79 engine rides on air over oil front suspension and solid rear. Specially formed wheels and 18-inch tires by Firestone. The twin chute pods in the tail house small diced units. Unconventional appearance of jet powerhouse contributes to fantastic speeds. Art and his boys aren't ashamed to admit that they threw in such junkyard bargains as a Dodge truck rear axle, Packard steering assembly, and bits of a Cadillac. Total cost. Now, you got to remember, this is 1965. You've got a J79 jet engine. You've got specially built tires. You've got a custom-built body. You've got twin cockpits. This thing is 21 feet long, weighs 6,500 pounds. Okay? So we need to put all that into perspective. Kenny, never been there, would hope to. Yeah, it was cool. I've been there one time, and it was well worth it. Randy, 5 miles time both ways, then averaged, okay? Shopcat, J79s are baby jet engines, aren't they? Off some little plane, I call the Phantom or something. I think the F4s did use those, actually. I think the F4 Phantom did use those. Those are just not without a diaper. But obviously, this is a pretty high-tech deal for that time. It says he was not without assistance because Firestone supplied the tires. The cost of the car, other than the tires, he built this entire car out of pocket. Now, remember, we just talked about a $15,000 custom Cadillac station wagon. They built this car for $10,000. Total cost, if you guys can see it, $10,000. That's a lot of car for $10,000. Even though $10,000 was a lot of money in 65, that was still crazy that they put that thing together for 10 grand. But a lot of ingenuity and a lot of hard work, and can make a lot of cool things happen. One more article we're going to talk about tonight real quick, then we're going to get into the ads. And we don't have much other than that tonight, actually, just because, other than talking about the raffle, because I haven't got a lot of some stuff done. Announcing the Dart Charger. Our position as a progressive automotive publication requires that we keep up with new developments in the field. Two of our frequent projects are road testing and strip testing. With the announcement that the 1965 Dart line was making available a 273 Charger package as optional equipment from the factory, we were anxious to do a strip test on this highly touted model. Upon request, we were loaned one of the Darts 273 Chargers by an LA Dodge agency. It was equipped with a 273 automatic, power brakes, power steering, Holley 4-barrel, and 10.5 to 1 compression. Not too shabby for a 65 Dart to have a 10.5 to 1 273. Those little 273s were pretty good motors in some of those A-body Mopars of that era, so they were kind of neat little deals. Third mortgage later, maybe fourth. Shopcat just looked it up. J79s were used in the F4 Phantom, as well as the F104, which I believe was the Thunderjet, the B58 Hustler, and the A5 Vigilante. So the J79 was a pretty common jet engine for that era. But this little Dart Charger, that's literally what they called it, the Dart Charger, the little 273 V8 that became available in these, also became available in the Valiants and Barracudas. But for the time, for a small little compact car, they did pretty well for themselves. So I thought it was kind of cool. They had literally called it the Dart Charger. Remember, they didn't make a Charger yet at that point. This was an option package to get the 273, high compression 273 in a Dart. So 104 was the Starfighter. Okay. So anyway, there was the Dart Charger. That wraps up the first half of the magazine. Let's get into some super cool ads. The first ad cracked me up. Obviously, a lot of racing in this magazine. Inside the front cover, new weekly Drag World brings you more news faster. Weekly Drag World. Inside the cover, sign up for Weekly Drag World. Now, obviously, in our society today, in our world, in fact, that was why I first hooked up the internet. When I got back from college, I paid for the internet because I was traveling, so I stayed at mom and dad's house for the first few months after I moved back from college, because when I started my job at Chrysler, I was traveling anyway. So the first several months, I just lived at home on the weekends, and I hooked the internet up at their house for instant race results. Now, in 1965, new with Weekly Drag World, you got exclusive flash distribution. Guarantees nationwide delivery within hours of press time. Mike Doherty's all-new Drag World scoops the field. Now you get inside news while it's hot. Weekly Drag World. So there again, it's funny in today's society to look back and say that was a big deal to get Drag World Weekly with almost instant results. Yeah, we covered that actually right out of the gate, Shopcat. We covered that. One of the first things we talked about tonight was the tragic loss of the B-17 and the P-63 in Texas yesterday. So the next ad we're going to look at had a little bit of color to it with some purple for Mickey Thompson wheels. All new, two for 1965, coming to go on the new Mickey Thompson Challenger line of custom wheels are quality in motion. Check that thing out. I don't know if they had any war history or not, but I mean, obviously, any B-17 is an amazing, amazing airplane. The P63 I'm not as familiar with as I am the B17s because I've ridden in we've ridden in aluminum overcast twice. So the B17 I am somewhat familiar with. Auburn badge. So Pete's digging the Mickey Thompson ad. Yeah, that's what's great about checking out the ads. Now, if you guys remember when we just talked about the land speed cars, I said I learned something in this magazine and something I want to try to find. So Kentucky Fried Tofu, one of the jet-powered school buses, also uses a J79. So the J79 is a pretty diverse engine. Fighter plane or school bus or Green Monster, whatever you want to put one in. Yeah, Challenger was the Mickey Thompson land speed car, and they sold that at Mecum a couple of years ago. But like I said, something I saw in this magazine that I didn't know about that I got to try to find now. Craig Breedlove merch. Craig Breedlove commemorative medal, 400 mile an hour, 500 mile an hour, as well as t-shirts, photos, decals, keychain, or a special package, buy it all from Spirit Equipment Company. Commemorative medal, $350. Breedlove t-shirt, $1.75. Ford land speed record photos, $250. 3-inch Spirit decal, 35 cents. 5.5-inch Spirit of America decal, 50 cents. Keychain, 25 cents. Special package offer, all the above, $7.50. Excuse me. So this stuff is cool. I got to try to find some of this. I have not seen Craig Breedlove merch until I saw this ad, so I'm kind of geeked about it. Shopcat P63 King Cobra is an improved higher altitude version of the Air Cobra. I believe the Air Cobra was a P39 if I remember. So kind of geeked about the Craig Breedlove merch. Another cool ad, just like we see in a lot of stuff today, Edelbrock. Except a lot of it now is Edelbrock fuel injection. In 1965, Edelbrock announces the all-new Ram Log manifold for 283 to 327 Chevrolet engines, guaranteed to outperform any dual quad manifold on the market, with a basically cross ram setup for a small block Chevy, which we actually saw Chevy come out with a couple of years later. So Frank says, watching it snow, you can keep that. So that's right. I think they still run a little bit of Black Rock too, occasionally, Kentucky. It seems like I've heard of them running at Black Rock before. Yeah, P39. That's what I was thinking. And one more ad, and then we're going to talk about the raffle, and then we're going to get ready to wrap things up. Big 2-page black and white ad, pretty similar. We've seen ads similar to this before. Champions use champions. Again, in 1964, the overwhelming majority of race winners choose Champion spark plugs because Champion delivers top performance in every engine. Good reason for always recommending and selling Champion spark plugs. Once again, they do run several ads like this we've seen in these mid-60s. Aviation, sports car, IndyCar, NASCAR, IndyCar stuff. More stock cars, boats, drag cars, Champion plugs in anything with performance. And that wraps up the first half of the February 1965 issue of Modern Rod. All you guys talking about snow, you just keep it all. I don't want any of it. We got a chance for some this week, and I don't want any of it. So, the first half of the February 1965 issue of Modern Rod, we'll catch the rest of it next week. I'm still digging the format. I hope you guys are too. I know I'm learning more. I hope you guys are learning more just by taking a little more time on the magazine. So, we'll finish this one up next week. Farm Veg. Let's go ahead and talk about the raffle real quick. And then we'll get ready to wrap this thing up. Yes, I'm inconveniencing you again, ain't I? Tim digging the Split magazine. I think a lot of you guys are. I hope that is true and continues. But this month's raffle, obviously the hood ornament bundle. Up top, 50-51 era Mercury. It's not broken. It's not chipped. It does have a few pits in it. It is not perfect, but it still shines. It looks good. Cool piece. There's the Ford product piece in the hood ornament bundle for the raffle. Chevrolet, the 1949-1950 car hood ornament. Really nice piece. Few small pits and scratches, but great chrome. Definitely a good looking piece. And the last hood ornament. All three of these are going to the winner. One shot deal, the Dodge Ram. This is like about a 49 or 50 car, but it does have the Ram on it. Few pits, but it's not broken. It's not chipped. It's not cracked. Boom. Boom. Give you a headbutt like we do every week. Getting ready for the big hood ornament raffle. We have not raffled off hood ornaments before, so definitely excited about doing the hood ornament raffle and seeing what you guys think about that. Now, what else are we giving away? We always want to draw a couple of extra names when we do the raffles. Make sure everybody gets a shot at winning something. So we've got a couple things already picked out. Two more pieces that the next winners are going to get. One mini hood ornament. This is a smaller piece, obviously not near as cool as the other one. I think it's got something broke off the back of it. I'm not sure. I don't even know what it is. It's just a cool little ornament looking piece, just a smaller version of a hood ornament. Perfect, Kenny. Appreciate that. And the other piece, like I said, after we pull the first name for the big bundle of hood ornaments, two more names are going to come out. One can choose this little ornament, or Randy's going to sign off. Randy, I will get with you this week. Like I said, I kind of got screwed up last week leaving town, and that deal didn't come together till Monday afternoon. Randy, we got to talk. I apologize for not getting with you, but that's right. Whoops. Same bat time, same bat channel next week, unless I break something else, which is a distinct possibility at this point. So, this little ornament, or like I told you guys, I went to and saw my good buddy Michael Jones at Gasoline Alley Classics in Oklahoma, and he makes new oil cans. So I picked up a handful of them. Yes, we're going to give away a little tiny oil can as well. This is a new one. He makes these, but it's a cool little piece. It's a little dinky oil can. So a couple more cool prizes for the raffle this week. I don't know if it's off a fender or not. It doesn't look like it. So anyway, okay, perfect, Randy. We will talk soon. Who's in here? Who is in the big Buick oil can as of right now? Could be motorcycle, but I think it's a little bit too big for motorcycles. So the first week, packet number 1. Like I said, I go by week on these things. Who's in from week 1? Johnny Z, X-Ray Dean, Reno, Bill Disk, Ron Walensky, big job, Jason Withrow, Alec Blanchett, David Woodcocks, Randy Weininger, Kenny Peterson, and Lee Carr. I don't think it's off a pedal car. It's too heavy to be off a pedal car. This is pot metal, and most pedal car trim was just stamped steel, so I'm sure it's not pedal car. Mark will be in later this week. So now The stuff from last week, like I announced earlier, if you pay me later in the week, you're not in this week's packet because I've been gone. I left Wednesday and there were 3 or 4 payments that came in later in the week. So you will be on the next week's packet. Who is in from the first half of this week is all that we've got in here, which is Reno, Alec Blanchett, David Woodcocks, Zach Thompson, and Jason Withrow. And there will be more from this week once I get the shipments from the end of last week processed and get those names into the big Buick oil can. So anyway, what else is cooking? Didn't pick up any cars this week because I was running, but I do have a truck full of parts. So I'll be sorting out those parts. We'll do some content when I get those parts unloaded and sorted. Plus, I got some cool stuff for some upcoming Toy Tuesdays that I stumbled across. So I actually had a pretty good week. On top of the fact, got to see my friends at Auburn Cord Duesenberg Company, which is never a bad thing. Got to see Michael. All kinds of good stuff happened. Brought a lot of cool stuff back. So the only thing I've got for new inventory is a big load of parts that I'll have to sort through. And what's coming up for videos next week? I'm not sure yet. Shot some stuff out while I was on the road. I got a little bit left from my buddy's yard, so I may try to get another one of those up. Obviously, I've got the ACD videos. I've got the Gasoline Alley Classics videos. I just got to take a little time, sort some stuff out, and get some stuff ready to post. As well as still got stuff in the new yard to shoot, got new inventory to shoot. Lots of cool things coming up. So I don't even know what it's all going to turn out to be. However, I do know that Tuesday we do plan on doing Toy Tuesday at 7. So price, yeah, about $6, Tim. That's right, Tim. You're exactly right. I think you're exactly right. I have to pull the receipt, but you're about right. So we'll see how things pan out. Like I said, I got my new iPhone 14 right here. We'll see if this does any better. I need all the help I can get, so we'll see if that helps. Like I said, finally, I hope I'm going to have a good microphone again. I broke my other microphone, and I have been trying, and I hate trying to order stuff online. You know, one time I clicked the wrong button, got the wrong thing. Shipping takes forever. It's just a mess. But I'm hoping I got a notification it's here. Hopefully I pick up my new mic. Same thing as what I've been using. Just one that's not broken, and hopefully I won't break this one right away, so that I can start getting some better sound quality back, kind of get back in a normal groove. That actually really kind of threw my brain off when I broke that mic, because Rode mic on Black Friday. Yeah, I've got Rode's that I use for shotgun, Kentucky Fried, and I use Saramonic wireless. The Rode shotguns I was using still picked up a lot of wind noise. The Saramonic wireless lapel mics have a transmitter you put in your pocket, hook the mic up here under my shirt, and then I got a transmitter that clips right into the end of the phone until you drop your phone like this, and it lands directly on the little receiver and snaps it off. So but anyway, hopefully I will have that, so I have some good sound quality, and planning on being around again for the next several weeks. We'll get some more stuff picked up. Got to get back on hauling some cars, bringing some more cool stuff in we can share with you guys. So a lot of it's going to be fun. Let's see. Number one starting a room with the Christmas Buick can prize a 32 to 38 Ford grill and shell. That's a lot of different grills, though. So chalking up as a donation to the Nobody Cause. That's whatever's good with you, Tim. I just thought it was going to cost a few more bucks to ship that, and it didn't. So I wanted to be right with you. Whatever you're comfortable with is perfectly cool. So Mark says buy 2 of them. Yeah. The transmitter by itself is $150. So yeah, I do need, and I probably will eventually order an extra one, just figuring it's going to happen at one time. But I ordered a whole nother kit this time because I wanted the extra transmitters. But yeah, ordering the extra receivers $150. And I probably will at some point just so I've got one here. But after buying another kit because I needed the extra transmitters for 300 and some bucks, I didn't want to tack another 150 on to get an extra receiver at this point. Anyway, that's pretty much what I've got. Keep us posted on the progress of the 78 F250. We'll try to do that, bud. The radiator is over at the radiator shop. The guy that was helping my dad actually lives over that direction to where the radiator shop was at, so he dropped it off for me last week. So, like I said, we'll see what happens there. I need to get that carb off, and Dad said he would kit the carb for me on it and try to get that thing at least mobile and movable. But since the radiator's out of it, I got to put a water pump and stuff on it too. I want to do all that stuff on the front of the motor while the belts, the hoses, and the water pump while the radiator is out of it. So need to get on that project as well. Kenny says, no problem, Kenny. You usually throw a few extra bucks in for shipping, and I always appreciate that as well. That's true, Big Job. Nothing's cheap in Joe's America anymore. We all see that every time we get gas. I know putting diesel in the pickup this week, I definitely noticed that. Big time. But anyway, that's what I've got. I'm going to get ready to wrap this thing up. As always, I appreciate you guys swinging by tonight, making this thing what it is. Your participation in the raffles, your participation in the chat. That's what makes this thing what it is. That's what makes it fun. Invite your friends over. We need to get some new people in here and kind of keep expanding a little bit. And so maybe you guys can invite some of your friends over to come hang out with us. Maybe we'll do an incentive. Maybe we'll do some sort of a prize so you can get the most friends to come and chime in some night with us and hang out for a little while. So maybe we'll do that one of these nights. But anyway, let's see. Okay, use a short cable to use a gimbal. Yeah, and I typically don't use a gimbal. I've got a gimbal, but I don't like it because I want to go over here and it wants to go over there. And I know if you use them enough, you can get used to that. I've just never taken the time to study them. So let's see. Pete, thanks. Appreciate it. Everybody be safe. That's right. New people and new subs for Shop Kitty. And that's right, X-Ray. It is great to hear from everybody on Sunday night for sure. And all you guys, once again, all you guys are thanking me, but you guys are what make this what it is. Your participation, your involvement, you spending basically your entire Sunday evening with me is what makes this what it is. So thanks to all of you. Invite your friends over. Like I said, let's think about it. Let's see if we can come up with some contest, see how many people can get new friends to chime in on some night and see what we can do to kind of expand things. So as always, I'll get something up tomorrow night. I think I've got one more from my buddy's yard. If nothing else, I'll try to get it up tomorrow night as I kind of work through these videos from Gasoline Alley Classics, Auburn Cord Duesenberg Company, plus some of my own stuff that I need to get done. So we'll get that stuff working. Obviously, Toy Tuesday, I'm not even caught up on new toys for Toy Tuesday, not counting what I brought home this weekend. So we definitely got cool stuff coming up for Toy Tuesday. You won't want to miss that either. Perfect, Mark. We'll talk to you tomorrow whenever you get a second. I'm going to be packaging tomorrow, trying to get shipments out of here since I was gone at the end of last week. You guys that paid at the end of the week, I will get on your stuff first thing tomorrow. Scott says, great show from Facebook. Thanks. Appreciate that, Scott. And like I said, you guys are what make this happen. Not only do you come spend your whole Sunday evening with me, you share your knowledge. You guys have questions and answers that I don't always have a lot of times. That's what makes it fun. So Johnny Z, appreciate you being here. Appreciate everybody being here and hanging out. Invite your friends. Let's make it a little bit better. Let's make it a little bit bigger. We'll see you Tuesday night live for Toy Tuesday at 7 o'clock. We'll get some more cool videos up this week. And be ready for next Sunday night, 7 o'clock Sunday night live chat. Thanks, Chad, for the memories. Johnny Carson's favorite guest star, Bob Hope. Like I said, the coasters are here. If you've got coasters that are paid for, they will go out in this week's shipments. I do still have some of these coasters that are not spoken for on this order. If you do want coasters, make sure you add them on there, $8 a piece, and make sure you note that how many coasters you want at $8 a piece. So And like I said, everybody that prepaid over the last couple weeks, those will be going out in this week's shipments. And if you want some, let me know. And if we need to get more, we can get another run made. I just don't know exactly when. That being said, I'm going to wrap it up. Good night to everybody. I hope everybody had a great weekend. Hope everybody has a great week. We'll see you Sunday night or Tuesday night, 7 o'clock for Toy Tuesday. And definitely hope to see all of you right back here next Sunday evening, 7 o'clock Central Standard Time, Sunday Night Live Chat. Thanks for watching, everybody. I think you ordered 6, Big Job. I think you had 6 coasters on your order, if I remember correctly. That sheet's out on the shipping bench. Everybody that ordered coasters, I left all those invoices on the shipping bench to make sure I don't forget you this week. So that's it. I'm signing off. That'll work. 7 o'clock Central Standard Time next Sunday Night Live Chat. Hope to see you all here. Bring some friends back. We'll have a whole nother new episode built. We'll have a heck of a lot more fun. And I hope you're all back to make next week's chat something great, just like you guys do every week. Thanks for being here, everybody. I appreciate you spending your Sunday evening with me, and we will see you next Sunday night.